The court finds you guilty.
We are dressed for court today.
Ready to go to court? What kind of court, you might ask? If you guys are watching on YouTube, you might be wondering, why are Denver and Teresa from ThreadTalk podcast dressed so fancy?
So bridal-like.
So groom-like. Boy, what a day we have had.
Oh my gosh.
It's been something, hasn't it?
It's been the craziest day in a while.
The most hectic day in a while.
Yeah, very chaotic.
Very chaotic.
However, everything worked out, and we'll leave that to the end.
It did. We'll get into that in the life updates. But one, if you're watching on YouTube, why we're dressed like this. And two, why our day was absolutely bonkers.
Wait, we should tell them why we're dressed like this.
No, what? They got to go through the whole episode in order. They got to earn that.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Episode 83, the court finds you guilty. Court is now in session.
Let's go.
Boom.
Who wants to be the judge first?
That's funny. I can go first.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for making my sister's gender reveal cake gray because she wouldn't tell me the gender? I, 23 male, bake as a hobby. I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, I get paid under the table for weddings and baby showers kind of good. My sister is pregnant and wanted me to make the cake for her gender reveal. Cool, no problem. I asked her to send me the info so I could prep the inside classic pink or blue filling. She says, oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral for the reveal and we'll all find out together. I was like, huh? So you want a gender reveal cake with no gender revealed? She says that she'll have someone email the info to me later. That someone never did. Deadline comes and I still have no gender. So I make the cake. It's gray inside, gray outside, just full-on cement vibes. I even add little fondant clouds for effect. It still tasted great, but visually grim as hell. The reveal day comes. They cut into it, and my sister looks pissed. Her husband is confused. People start murmuring. Then she pulls me aside like, why did you make it so gray? That's so passive-aggressive. I calmly reminded her that no one told me the gender. I literally had no data to work with. I told her I wasn't about to guess or go full improv on somebody's baby cake. Now my mom says I embarrassed her in front of the family and that I should have tried harder. Tried harder to what? Summon the gender through vibes? So, am I the asshole for making the most neutral reveal cake in history?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
You think so?
Why are you not... Why didn't you tell her?
Right?
Why didn't you say, hey, sis, deadline is tomorrow. I still haven't received the gender. What color do you want me to make this cake?
Do you want a gray cake with no reveal on the inside because I have nothing to go off of? Instead, he's like, nah, I'm going to be passive aggressive. Gray.
That is so passive aggressive. But I don't understand why. Is it because he wants to know the gender and she didn't trust him to tell him? Or
she doesn't know the gender. She wants to be surprised on the gender reveal.
She wants to be surprised.
She doesn't know it.
But why is he being passive aggressive? Like, what amount of effort could it have taken to just call her up and be like, hey, just give her a heads up. I don't have anything to work with her right now, and the day is tomorrow.
Maybe she didn't answer.
Did he say in OP's post? There's nowhere that says.
Listen, I'm just trying to play a good defense attorney here.
Oh, I see.
Court's in session. I'm playing the defense attorney.
No, you're an asshole. You are a total asshole because obviously the task was either blue or pink, not gray.
She said, oh no, I want to be surprised too. Just make it neutral. And we'll find out together. She said, let's make it neutral.
Okay, I'm not understanding then. It would be, she wanted a neutral cake with what to be revealed?
The gender. Like
how?
I don't know. Apparently she just wants a cake and the reveal is not going to be through the cake. It'll be something somehow else. Balloons or something maybe. Either way.
I'm hella confused now.
My client was not told a color to make the cake. Therefore, he did a neutral color. Therefore, he did as was asked of him. Not guilty. Do you have a rebuttal? Or do we go to the top comment?
I think OP could have put a little bit more effort in for his sister's big day.
Okay. Like text her one last time. Hey, I'm making the cake. It's gray or it's nothing. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Maybe he could have called her.
Yeah, when she said neutral, like, I think he should have clarified. As a baker, sister aside, family aside,
As a baker,
you need to get all of the details out in that consultation. You need to.
do you think if a real professional baker that was paid to do the job, paid to make a reveal cake, as asking the client, hey, what color is it going to be? What color is it going to be? Do you think that that professional baker bakes it gray?
No.
Or waits until the client replies before he even bakes it at all?
Waits. 100%.
I don't know. I think my client did nothing wrong, Judge. Top comment. I'm confused. Did you not take the opportunity to message as the date was coming closer to tell your sister, hey, haven't gotten the info on the gender. Did you check on this? And then OP replies and then also adds an edit and says, I actually did follow up, asked her a couple days before the reveal if the info had been sent. And she just said like, yeah, someone's taking care of it. I figured it was handled. I didn't want to pester her since she seemed chill about it at the time. If she really wanted the gender in the cake, she could have double checked too. I was relying on the system she set up and it just didn't come through.
I'm so confused, man. I'm really confused, actually.
Well, this one was rated. You're the asshole. Everybody in the comments said you're the asshole. As much as I would like to defend my client here, I would think that if they want a gender reveal cake and they're asking you for a gender reveal cake, not just a cake, gender reveal cake, then therefore you should not make the cake unless you know the gender reveal. You should text, you should call, you should be like, hey, I'm showing up tomorrow. You got 2 hours before the time to me to make the cake has passed and I'm no longer making it.
Yeah.
That is your deadline.
Okay, but at the same time, yeah, someone's taking care of it. Okay, well.
Like okay, here's the thing. If you're confused and you're like, hey, I want a neutral cake for my gender reveal party, that's fine. You want a cake, but that's not how we're doing the reveal. Like you're going to pop a balloon. You're going to do some tire burnouts. You're going to do, one of those popcorn, like pop, 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 the confetti things, whatever. They know what I'm talking about. But the cake is not the reveal. Then you could do a gender neutral. And if anything, though, gray is like, what the heck? If it's like the cake is not the theme for it, maybe you do a pink and blue cake. If that's not like the reveal version.
Yeah.
Like if they're going to pop a balloon or do a confetti thing.
Yeah.
That's the color. Maybe you do both colors on the cake. Who the hell does a gray cake?
Right? No, that's so true.
And then even then you pester your sister. I'm just saying, if my job was a professional cake baker and someone hired me to do a gender reveal cake and they're not giving me the info, I'm going to pester the shit out of them
100%.
in order for me to make the deadline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very unprofessional. It was on you to make the cake. No one in their right mind would ever make a gray cake for a gender reveal.
I would have to think that there's something that went on that he was passive aggressive about it. Yeah. Someone says, you're the one making the cake. If you can't do it because you don't have the relevant information, that's on you. Be pushy or cancel the job. Come on now. At least you could have made the cake white instead of gray. That was passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo!
Over to you.
All right. Am I the asshole for confronting my wife after she let our daughter roam around a water park without a swim top? Me, 30 male, and my wife, 29 female, have a daughter, 6 female. Just last weekend, my wife took our daughter to a local water park with her sister and her 2 children. I had to work that weekend, so I was unable to come. My sister-in-law loves to take pictures on family outings just for the sake of having memories, so she brought her camera. When she got home later that evening, they all seemed like they had a great time. We were all sitting in the living room when my sister-in-law casted the pictures onto the living room TV. I couldn't believe my eyes. There was my daughter wearing nothing but swim bottoms. I looked over to my wife as her sister kept clicking through the pictures, and she just stared back at me with a completely puzzled look. I didn't want to say anything in front of my sister-in-law, so I waited until she left to mention it. When she left, I immediately asked her about it. She tells me that our daughter spilled chocolate ice cream on the top and didn't want to wear it with the stain on it. I told her that our 6-year-old daughter does not need to be out in public topless, and she starts yelling at me for sexualizing our daughter and claims that since she's only 6, she doesn't even have anything to cover up. She also goes on to say that she wanted her to feel comfortable, and if she didn't want to wear the top because it would make her uncomfortable, then she would let her make that decision. I explained to my wife that she should have found a shirt or something to cover her up with, but she insisted that nobody seemed to care about it. Then she tells me I'm accusing her of being a bad mother and telling me that I'm making a normal situation weird for sexualizing my own daughter. Honestly, it wasn't all about being sexualized. That was concern number 1 for me, as I know that there are creepy people all over the world who prey on kids. But on top of that, it's just basic human decency and modesty. Also a boundary that I want my daughter to understand. She can't just walk around bare-chested without a top on. I try to explain my reasoning behind my concern, but she walks away and locks herself in the guest bedroom for the night. The next morning, I try to talk to her about it again, and she says nothing. She's been giving me the silent treatment all week long and sleeping in the guest bedroom, and now I'm wondering if I've handled this situation the right way or not. Am I the asshole?
Unequivocally, absolutely. I think so. She's 6. All the 6-year-olds run around with no top. And no offense, maybe different in certain parts of the world, but here in Canada and Ontario, you want to not wear a top no matter what age you are, like you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you are 6. She is 6, and you are absolutely over sexualizing. I think all kids like that age are running around topless. Like,
Yes.
it's a kid.
Yes.
You're sexualizing nothing.
Yes. I like when he says that he's not sexualizing her, but it's just basic human decency and modesty to cover up.
That's what I mean.
And he wants her daughter to understand that she can't just walk around bare-chested without a top on.
But she could if she actually wanted to. Like, you actually could. If you felt comfortable and that's how you wanted to walk around, you absolutely could. It's just North American people of sexualizing the woman body like that.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, I wouldn't say absolutely could, because there are certain states and places that it's allowed because of the fact that North America sexualizes the female body like that. But she's 6, man. She's a kid. Like, as a kid, I don't know.
I guarantee you, no one at that water park gives a shit that your 6-year-old daughter is running around topless.
Bro, I used to run around naked.
Yeah, literally.
Not at the park, I guess.
No,
at
but
home.
like, it happens.
But
I feel like I've seen bare butts at the water park.
yeah, it happens.
Like, it happens.
I feel like all the little kids run around. I feel like it's almost kind of cruel if she's 6 and she's forced to wear this like garment across her chest that's like, it's nothing's holding it in place. Just like wearing a strap around. And so what's it doing?
Useless.
It's useless.
It is useless.
Yeah.
Her body looks the exact same as a little boy's body at 6 years old.
Exactly. They all
like
look
at
the
least
same.
from the chest up.
If the hair was cut, you would think you wouldn't even know. Honestly, nowadays you wouldn't even know, because a lot of little boys have long hair now. So you wouldn't even know.
Yep.
You wouldn't even know. There is a couple parts, where he says around making a weird situation by sexualizing your daughter, but then the boundaries that my daughter needs to understand and stuff. And I don't know.
I do not like the way he's talking.
I'm not on board with it.
No. I would be very concerned if I was his wife. Top comment. Topless or not, it won't stop anyone from staring at her if that is their prerogative. My daughter is extremely fair-skinned and a redhead. When she was younger, she was only allowed to swim in long-sleeve rash guards and shorts. I had someone comment on how long her legs were and how sexy she was going to be when she grew up. She was like 7. When I was a toddler/preschooler, my mom and stepdad had a friend who apparently would comment about how he was going to marry me when I grew up, and that he claimed me and no one else was going to marry me.
That's fucked up. It's kind of twisted though, because like when you're the little boy in the family, all like the older grandparents and stuff, they're like, oh my God,
he's gonna break
look at him,
hearts.
so handsome, he's gonna break hearts, he's gonna be the ladies man, he's gonna be such a handsome little fella and stuff like that. But like, what, you don't say that to like small girls, like, oh my God, you're gonna grow up to be so hot and sexy or whatever, or like gonna get all the boys and stuff. Like, you just don't. That's weird.
Yeah, I also think it's weird to say that to little boys.
It's definitely a double standard that people don't realize when they're saying it to the boys, about like how handsome they're gonna be and stuff.
I think it shouldn't be said to anybody. Like,
I remember getting that a lot.
Those are children.
Yeah.
Like, they they have nothing to do with a like that is very weird to me to be like, oh, he's gonna break hearts, grow up and break hearts. That's really fucking weird because you're basically insinuating that he's like good looking.
Yep.
And he's gonna like you're talking about a 4-year-old,
right?
That is weird behavior.
I always found it weird when people said that to me. I always get like the cheeky flushes, like embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird.
It's so weird. Yeah, and imagine how that little kid would feel.
I always felt uncomfortable when people said that to me.
I know it's kind of like a normal thing to say, but people need to stop saying that, I think.
Maybe, right?
Like, yeah, and especially to girls. Like this.
Oh, for sure.
That's weird. Someone claimed me.
I just think it's this. Yeah, that's absolutely fucking.
Yeah.
I would be like, get the hell in my house. You're fucked. You're fucked, bud. But just the swimming suit thing. Yeah, at 6, whatever. Just let them be.
It's gonna happen. Like there are creepy people. Yes.
What can you do about it?
Actually, what can you do about it? Like covering up her chest that isn't actually showing anything right now isn't going to stop someone from being creepy in public.
Exactly.
Like the most you could do is just stay vigilant and watch other people. As an adult, as a parent, you need to watch other people in the water park and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall
vote, asshole.
Yup. Back to me.
All right. Microdosing has been an absolute game changer. This episode of ThreadTalk is brought to you by Schedule 35, our trusted partner in all things microdosing. Imagine having a tool that sharpens your focus, clears your mind, and keeps anxiety at bay all day long. It might sound like a magic pill that solves all your problems, but that's the magic of microdosing with Schedule 35. Their products are backed by science and dosed to a precise amount, so you get exactly what you need to tackle your toughest days without the hallucinogenic effects.
I've been microdosing with Schedule 35 for about a year now, and I have to say that I can notice the difference. I used to have a hard time focusing while I was editing the podcast, but for the last year now, I've been using Schedule 35's microdosing, and editing has now become a breeze. I feel a noticeable difference with how sharpened my focus is while I'm editing. Schedule 35 is on a mission to destigmatize and educate on the science and real-world benefits of psilocybin, as well as making it accessible for everyone. With Schedule 35, each order ships discreetly and comes with a microdosing regimen that keeps you on track. Are you ready to have your best day ever? Then head over to schedule35.co and use our code ThreadTalk for 15% off your order.
That's schedule35.co using the code ThreadTalk for 15% off at checkout.
That's 15% off all orders when you use the ThreadTalk code. To make it easy, I'll leave it down in the description below, so all you gotta do is click and shop.
Thank you to Schedule 35 for sponsoring this episode. Now back to the stories you love.
Am I the asshole for telling cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? I was in a higher-end department store today and happened to end up next to 2 teenage girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them. The second girl must have looked at the price tag and asked the boots girl if they were really going to spend that much on boots. Girl with the boots says something along the lines of, "It's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We ended up at the same register, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I just can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell the cashier that it isn't even her card but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she's ever been told no. Girl tells the cashier that her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out that it wasn't hers, the cashier tells her she can't use the card. The girl tries to show ID to prove that they have the same last name, and I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal. She needs to pay with her own card or I'll call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the asshole?
What a freaking Karen. Bro, these are the worst types of people. I swear to God. Mind your own business.
This post was 6 years ago. So this lady could have started the
whole
Karen trend.
thing.
This could
When
be
did Karen
the OG Karen.
come about?
I don't know. So
Oh
you
my
think she's
God.
in the wrong?
Yes, 100%.
My client was just standing up for the rule of the law.
It has nothing to do with her. It literally, whether she used that credit card or not, wouldn't affect her in any way, shape, or form.
If someone was robbing a bank and then my client performed a citizen's arrest and stopped the bank robber,
No.
would you not be happy?
No, that's different because if someone's robbing a bank and you're in the bank, you may want to try to stop it because I feel like you're in harm. You would be in harm's way.
This rebel of a teenager was
How
committing
did she get the credit
money
card?
fraud. She obviously clearly stole this from her
How
father.
do you know that?
Does
Where's the proof?
she have a note
Where's the proof?
from her father giving
Why
written
would
permission?
she need a note?
Because
To show who?
to show the cashier.
No. He gave her she has a credit card. It's her credit card that her dad is loaning.
No, it's not her credit card.
Okay,
Her
it's the dad's credit
cards.
card.
We could not verify whether or not he gave her permission.
You also can't
Therefore,
verify
my
that
client
he didn't.
is innocent, not guilty. Is my argument standing up at all?
No.
Damn. I need to practice
You're actually doing
more.
a pretty good job, actually. It's kind of hard here.
Top
You're
comment.
just so confident. You sound so confident. It's making me question
You
myself.
gotta be strong. Gotta be strong. I feel like that's the number one thing
I
in real life,
know.
just confidence. Top comment. You're the asshole. Did it ever occur to you that she was telling the truth and her dad had given her the credit card? Mind your own business.
Exactly. What is it to you? Like, why did you feel the need to say anything at all?
What else was she
I think
gonna do?
she's projecting. I don't know. I feel like she's
My client was not projecting. She had a very busy day. She didn't need to add this to the. She was being a good Samaritan. She didn't need to add this
she
to
had
her
a very
palette.
busy day. Then
She
she
was a
should
very
have
busy day.
focused
She
on her
went-
busyness.
She went out of her way to be an upstanding citizen,
No,
to uphold the law.
not her right.
Just because she failed at a police academy doesn't mean that you can hold that against her.
Failed at a police.
Now, while I will say that my client is clearly, unequivocally, absolutely not guilty, another potential person in a similar situation, I would say, hey, let her use the card. It's not your fucking problem. And if she gets in problem with her dad for spending his money, that's her dad's issue.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wants to call the police and or say, hey, this is a stolen credit card transaction,
Exactly.
and he wants to charge his own
Let
daughter,
him do that.
he can do all of that. What if you're wrong? You have absolutely nothing to go on besides the fact that you're clearly jealous that such a young girl is getting a very expensive pair of boots.
Yes. Also, why? Okay,
You were
not
just
only the credit
jealous.
card thing, but like her looking at the boots and like gawking at the price.
Yeah, because you didn't have a
She was jealous.
because you didn't have a daddy that paid for expensive boots for you.
Exactly.
You think that nobody else should have expensive boots. Nobody else's daddy should pay for
Exactly.
expensive boots because clearly no one's parenting this kid. So you need to step in and parent because you're such a good mom. That's what I would say to the person who wasn't my client because my client is unequivocally not guilty.
You said unequivocally 3 times this episode so far.
Take a drink every time. Denver says unequivocally. It's going to be that kind of episode. All right, back to you.
All right. Am I the asshole for telling my coworker he should teach his daughter tact? I, 32 female, work in an office with my coworker, Ken, 40 male, who has a daughter, Esme, 15 female. Ken and I are friendly. We've worked together for a few years now, and over the last year, maybe I've been trying to open the door with something romantic. I was being very obvious, but it never went anywhere, and I thought that it was because he was clueless. A few weeks ago, Esme came with Ken's dad to bring lunch to Ken. It was sweet. She was polite to everyone in the office, including me. They visited for about half an hour before I went to take my lunch. I always come in and ask Ken if he wants to join me for lunch, and I knew his visitors were leaving soon, so I did the same as always. He said no, which is no big deal. Sometimes he says no, sometimes he says yes. I asked him if he was sure, and he said he was. And I asked, "Are you sure you're sure?" Sort of teasingly. His daughter speaks up and says, "He said he's sure." And things got a little awkward. No one said anything, but Ken and his dad looked shocked. I said I was just asking, and she told me to take a hint. And then Ken finally told her to stop. She said, quote, "It's not my fault she doesn't understand at her big age." I ended up crying. That's so funny. I ended up crying, and we didn't talk for a while, and I steered clear. Last week, I finally talked to him about it. He apologized, and we talked a little more openly about stuff. Ken hadn't dated since his divorce 11 years ago, and he didn't plan to. He said he had been happily uninvolved. After some clarification, he meant 100% completely celibate, and he didn't want that to change anytime soon, if ever. Didn't think people still did that nowadays. He told me he knows I'm interested, but he didn't return the feelings. We were okay, it was an adult conversation, and all went well. This is where things turned sour. I told him I understood, I apologized for pushing, and I asked him why his daughter treated me the way she did. He apologized, but he said she was protective of his choices, and she knew that he was not interested in anyone, and he had expressed his discomfort around my flirting to his family. I told him that still wasn't validation for how she spoke to me, and that he needed to teach her tact, as ultimately I am someone being rejected by the person I had feelings for. She should have been polite and treated me with empathy. It was like his mood changed on the spot. He starts talking about how he prides himself on being a single father and raising a strong, intelligent daughter. I apologized immediately for offending him and said I just felt that she was brash. He ended the conversation and we hadn't spoke since. I've noticed some people giving me the cold shoulder. Finally, I asked a friend what was up, and she told me that some people thought it was wrong of me to have said what I said to Ken. I left it alone and figured it would blow over, but I've had this nagging stomach ache since then. I think part of me is looking for reassurance, or maybe just laying it out in front of me to clear my head. I think I just need an outsider's perspective. Am I the asshole?
Yeah. I mean, okay, first off, tact, T-A-C-T. Even the descriptive words I don't understand.
What does it say?
Adroitness.
What is that? Adroitness?
Adroitness. Okay, which is clever or skill. Adroitness and sensitivity in dealing with others or difficult issues is what tact means.
It's like, yeah, you're like be tactful. I've heard that before.
The inspector broke the news to me with tact and consideration. Okay, so be sympathetic, have some empathy.
Yeah,
is what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
God damn. So, I mean, okay, first off, you did it one too many times. He said he was sure. First off, let's rewind. They visited for lunch, and as they were eating with him, you came in and said, "Do you want to come take lunch with me?" Are you fucking
Girl is
Lulu?
really shooting her shot,
Holy man, you've been throwing yourself at him. He's been letting it down. Okay. Leave him alone. Come back tomorrow. Try again tomorrow. Come back to your antics the next day. He's literally eating lunch with me. No fucking shit, he doesn't want to go to you. So not only did you ask it once, okay, you already know the answer is going to be no. So if you want to flirt with him in front of these people, you do it.
His daughter.
One time. You come in and you say it once because you always say it every day. You don't go, "I did the same as I always did." He said no, which is no big deal. Sometimes he says yes. I asked if he was sure, and he said he was. 2. And then I asked, "Are you sure you're sure?" Number 3. Good on the daughter for finally sticking up. Yo, he's fucking take a hint, bud.
Take a hint.
Take a hint.
How embarrassing.
If you were, you absolutely should not have said it, but if you were, it would have been a max of 1 shot, and you went 3 times. So the daughter's sitting there like, oh my God, not only did she do it once, she shouldn't have done it at all, but okay, I'll let her go away with once. And then 2, it's like, oh my God, is she going to leave soon as that 3? You're like, that's it. Get out. I've had enough. Leave us alone.
I love this for her because for the daughter.
I love this for the daughter too. Like, good job for like knowing when to tell people to fuck off.
Telling people no.
Yeah.
Like, this teaches them, because I feel like a lot of girls grow up being taught like to be polite and
don't
like,
make them angry.
Especially when it comes to men. Like, that's just kind of like the consensus that we all have is like, even when we're like denying being interested in someone, it's always like,
you gotta let them down
I have
nicely.
a boyfriend.
Yeah.
When you don't have a boyfriend.
We have fragile egos as a society of men. We are fragile.
Yeah. So this is just like, like, good on her, because she is saying like no means no.
Mm-hmm.
And she's saying it how it is. And I'm so glad that she's learned that. At 15 years old, that's really hard.
Yeah, strong.
Because she's young. Like, that is really young to me. So
good job.
Good on her, man. Like, stick up for your dad. Literally. She will not take your shit.
Fuck no.
I want to be her friend.
Sounds good.
Top comment. Your description of your actions was actually uncomfortable to read. He has clearly indicated that he was not interested in a romantic relationship with you, yet you were pushy about going to lunch during a time he was focusing on a family visit. Your comments about his daughter were icing on the cake relative to being rude and dismissive. That's you are the asshole.
Anytime someone like gets snapped back at, then they cry wolf. And like, why are you being so mean to me? When somebody like stands up for themselves, I feel like this is like another Karen tactic.
Yeah.
Like, why are you being so mean to me? Why'd you push me back after I shoved you? Why'd you retaliate against me? Yeah, be nice to me.
Yeah, it's like Taylor Swift's Mad Woman. It's a song about you poked that bear until the claws come out.
Yeah.
And you push them into a corner, and you're wondering why they react the way they did when you made them react that way.
Yeah.
You need to take accountability for that.
It's like walking up behind a horse, slapping it on the ass, and then you're confused why you got kicked.
What?
What are you saying? Like, don't mess with the bear. You walk up behind a horse, you stand behind his butt, and you whack it on the butt.
Why would you whack a horse's butt?
Sometimes it sends them running, to like send it running. And then don't be surprised when it kicks back at you.
Is that a thing? Do people?
Only dumb people. People who actually know horses and ranch and stuff, they don't. But how do you think we get the horses to go fast? We whip them.
I don't like that.
Have you seen a cowboy like walk into a saloon in the old movies and like they make that clanking noise as they walk in?
No, clanking.
Like on their feet, their steps, like click, click, clank, clank.
Okay.
Cowboy, and they got like the little like diamond stir thing on the back of their boot. Cowboys.
I don't know what you're talking about now.
You've never, like, cowboy movies? They got this
what's
like
the silver thing that you're talking about?
There's always a silver thing with like a star that like spins on the back of their boot at the bottom of their heel, like behind their heel, like it extends out behind their foot, attached to their cowboy boots.
No.
Forget what they're called, but they're stirs. I think, maybe, I don't know. But like when they put their feet into the side of the horse to giddy up, it
hurts them?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't like that.
It's how cowboys are. Well, I don't know how much they are like that anymore, but that's how they used to be. Yeah, it's sad.
Every time like we see horses and stuff on TV,
mm-hmm.
It like, I don't know, it makes me sad. Like, I feel like we shouldn't be using animals like that.
Yeah, you should walk everywhere. If you were born 100 years ago, 200 years ago.
No, but like even in The Last of Us.
Do you know what? Oh, sure. Yeah, the two people on the horse. Do you know what a bridle is?
Me.
No. I think it's bridle. I don't know. A bit. They put a metal bit. So that there's the harness that goes around their head. When you ride them, put a metal bit that goes from side to side that goes inside their mouth. And then when you pull on the reins, you know how people have reins on the back of the horses?
Yeah.
That pulls on a metal piece inside their mouth. And that's how you steer the horse. Because you pull to one side or the other.
I really...
No matter what, the spurs might be gone, but no matter what, every single person riding a horse is going to have a bit in the horse's mouth.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
I have no interest in ever doing that.
Teresa's out on the horseback riding.
No, because like...
When you're nice to your horse and stuff, it doesn't hurt them. But, you're still putting a metal piece in their mouth to ride them.
Yeah, no. I even hate when I see like dogs with the leash around their mouth. I hate that.
A muzzle?
No, but it's a leash.
Oh, okay.
Like when the leash is around their mouth.
Yeah, I hate seeing it too, but you know what I hate more? Getting bit.
I know, I guess.
Let me know when you get bit by a dog. You know what it feels like.
I just like, it makes me sad. Like,
Makes me sad too, but I'm just like, hey, I'm happy he's not biting me at this moment. So,
I guess. Just like, I don't know.
You don't know?
Let the animals live.
Let them live, guys.
Can we just
Let
live?
them eat. Let them cook.
Okay.
Back to me?
Yep.
Okay.
Seems like there's a trend in all these stories.
All right, back to me. Am I the asshole for not saying anything about the underwear? My 20-year-old daughter and her What?
So what underwear?
My 20-year-old daughter and her fiance are currently staying with us. I love my daughter, but she's very difficult, and I can't stand her fiance. I gave them a deadline to move out because I can't take this anymore. They got into a massive fight the other day while my wife was out. I guess a pair of my wife's underwear got in their laundry, and she thought he was cheating. I think the fact that she immediately jumped to cheating shows how bad their relationship is. She was waving the underwear around, and I recognized them because they had a floral print, but I just let this ridiculous fight go on. My wife came home after about 30 minutes and said that they were hers. My wife asked if I didn't realize they were hers, and I accidentally laughed. My daughter burst into tears and won't talk to me. Her fiance said we're fucked and left the house, but my wife thought it was funny. Am I the asshole?
Jeez. Yeah, buddy.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little tiny bit.
He was like, I know the answer. I'm not telling you.
Did you not notice they were mine? This dude's like over in the corner, like chomping on his fingernails, like.
Oh my god. That's one way to get rid of your daughter's boyfriend that you don't like. Fiance?
As much as I'm like, you're an asshole, I am also kind of like,
I kind of get it.
sometimes it's okay to be the asshole.
Yeah.
Because he's like, the fact that she immediately jumped to cheating kind of shows how bad the relationship is. Like, if we were in a common situation where you were living with another woman in your house and those underwear come up and your first thought is, oh, you're cheating on me. Not, hey, maybe they're my parents.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, maybe you need to have that fight. Maybe that fight will be beneficial, not for your relationship, but for your long-term life.
It is kind of like, where is the line? And it's me saying this
Whoa,
so
Jesus,
much more
talking
now.
about the line.
And I hate myself for it, but here we are.
By rubbing off.
Here we are. Where is the line between like, don't get involved and like, let them do their thing?
Right?
Or get involved. But this is something, I don't know. This is something that you did kind of have power to.
Okay, but like, let's say, you have a 8-year-old kid, they got to do some math homework when they come home from school. You know the answer, hopefully, to those math questions.
I mean, that's fair.
And you got to let them go through the equations to figure out like what 32 times 79 is.
That's fair.
You don't just come home and you don't answer all their homework for them. You let them problem solve and figure their stuff out. So it's like, hey, that's your relationship. Like, if you come to me and ask, like, hey, do you know whose underwear this is? Do you think this is mom's underwear? I'll give you the answer. But do you have to step in and solve all of their problems just because you know the answer? I think it's kind of telling that you're having that fight in the first place.
Yeah.
So the wife laughed, so she's not mad at you. So
yeah, but that's okay.
And
that's
you're
not really the issue here.
You're also pissed at them because you're like, get the fuck out of my house. I'm tired of you guys fighting all the time.
Just kick them out. She's 20.
So, top comment, you might be the asshole, but I'm living for it. My personal verdict is you're the asshole, but I'd like to invoke Shitman versus Frick Boy, which states that in times of outlandish and otherwise infantile behavior, assholery may, subject to scrutiny, be permitted.
Who the hell is Shitman versus Frick Boy?
No idea.
Am I just missing the joke? I don't think it's anything.
I Googled it, and the only thing that comes up is his
Is
posts.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but okay. But yeah.
I think it's just saying like a shit person versus a fuck boy.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm here for it. I'm living for it. Top overall vote, asshole.
Asshole.
Back to you.
Guilty.
The court finds him guilty.
Order.
Order in the court. Calm her down. No more talking. You ever been to court?
No.
I've been to court.
Have you?
I think I talked about it on an old episode. One of
Yeah.
the early ones.
So.
About my drug problem.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what episode it is, but if you guys are watching, comment down below if you know what episode it is. If you've been here for a long time, you recently binged them all, comment down below what episode I talked about my drug problem.
Okay, that's not... Your drug problem sounds very different to what the issue actually was. You were caught with drugs.
Yeah.
Not that you have a drug problem. Those are two different things.
You don't have to tell them that.
Well, I don't want them to think that you're some sort of addict.
I get off on letting them think what they're going to think.
What the hell is wrong with you, dude?
I don't know.
Okay. Fight with my 29 male girlfriend, 28 female, over last name. Reconsidering relationship.
Over last name? Whoa. Whoa.
We've been dating for 3 years, living together for 1. We've been serious and exclusive for 2 years, and last week we started discussing marriage, couching it in terms of speaking hypothetically, things like that. For the most part, things seemed great. We both want kids, we have compatible career goals, and we want to do the same things in life. We have compatible religious views, etc. But last night, I asked my girlfriend if she's comfortable being Mrs. my last name. And she laughed and said, I don't need to worry about that because she's never taking my name. I asked her if she was serious, and she said that changing her last name at all would jeopardize her career, and even if it wouldn't, she wouldn't take my particular last name, even in hyphenated form. She then added that she wouldn't let any of our kids take my last name either. Now why did you react like that?
If the married couple don't agree to take the last name, then how do you determine what the kids' last names would be?
Well, typically in a patriarchal society, it's the men's.
Right.
But if the wife, who should have a say...
No, for sure.
Okay, so...
But I'm like, how do you decide? I feel like you should have equal rights for the kids to have both names.
Yeah.
Like, would the kids get a hyphenated name, maybe? And which one comes first? Shit, that's a tough problem. Good luck to those couples.
Now I have what most people would consider to be a very silly last name, even offensive in certain company.
Like Dick.
As it prominently includes a very common nickname for a sex organ.
It's Dick.
I got bullied relentlessly for my last name growing up, and even now, most people tend to do double takes when they hear it.
Dick.
When I first met my girlfriend, she said she had thought my last name was me joking around. But it's my name, I'm my family's only child, and these days, to me, it's a funny joke to laugh about with the guys at work. And my longtime girlfriend told me that she wouldn't let any children of hers have my last name because they'd get teased and bullied over it.
That's a fair point.
To me, it's just the latest in a long string of incidents since moving in together that makes me think Wendy doesn't respect me. I make a lot more money than she does, so when I see a cute dress or piece of jewelry, I like to buy it and surprise her with it. She liked it when we were just dating, but now she keeps telling me that it's not her style or she isn't comfortable with me spending so much money on her. She never wears it either. Her social media is filled with her in her work clothes or jeans and tank tops. Wendy also used to be super flirty before we moved in together, sending me dirty emails and nude or almost nude photos on a regular basis and inviting me to do the same. She doesn't do that anymore, and the last time she put on a fancy lingerie that wasn't me specifically asking for it was on my birthday a few months ago. I think Wendy doesn't get how important this is to me. I want her to be my wife, not just the woman I live with, and we've been kind of distant with each other since the argument. We only had sex once since then, and even that felt like she was just going through the motions because she knew I was horny. Is there a way I can get her to compromise with me on this? I really want my wife and kids to have my last name, not just be the woman I happen to be married to who happen to pop out kids who are related to me. Or should I sever now while I'm still young if she's not going to budge?
Don't worry about it, buddy. The decision's going to be made for you soon. She's about to dump your ass, man. Oh, my. Okay, I'm a little bit conflicted here because me and this girl over here, I don't know if you guys know, but we got married recently.
Like today recently.
You're supposed to wait till the end. I was talking about when this episode goes live.
They know. Look at us.
They don't know.
Look at us.
They've been questioning it. Oh, she can never keep a secret, guys. Okay, but back to what I'm thinking. I would be hurt if Teresa didn't want to take my last name, but my last name ain't Dick. So I could absolutely have, if my last name was Dick, I would have
What do you say?
no problem. I would have no problem with Teresa not wanting to take my last name, especially in a professional corporate environment. If I have to go from O Pedisano to Dick, that's not happening. No. And I can absolutely understand where I'm like, yo, the kids are not getting your last name either. It's a non-starter. If it's like two regular last names, like black and white, you know, what's going to happen? Okay, sure. But buddy, come on. Your last name's cocksucking Dick, man. Stop, bro. I would be sad if you didn't take my last name. Like if you were like so like 100% set against it. I would say that I would very strongly much like you to take my last name. Like that's a very strong desire that I have. Like I grew up with my mom taking my dad's last name. So I grew up with like the family to me is like the last name. So it's very much of a strong desire for you to take my last name. But if you grew up and you were like, absolutely, I'm never changing my last name and stuff, then I would be okay with that. Would I be sad? Yeah, but I'll get over it. I'm a big boy. I'll grow the fuck up. Exactly. Whatever. I'm very appreciative that Teresa is taking my last name and I love her to death and that makes me very happy. But is it the end worlding? Whatever. But even back to the story, like, dude, your last name's Dick. Stop it. But I used to buy her things and now she says she wasn't like it. Okay, yeah. When you're getting to know somebody in the beginning of a relationship, yeah, they want to be appreciative of your stuff. When they get comfortable, they're gonna be like, hey, just letting you know, FYI, I don't like it when you do all of this stuff. I'm cool if you can stop. I'm never wearing it. Thank you very much.
Exactly. It's like he doesn't pay attention to her.
It's like
her style probably changed.
It's like it's like somebody wants to buy their girlfriend pink everything. And maybe they don't want pink everything.
Denver learned that the hard way.
No. In the beginning of like first 2 years, I bought you so much stuff. And then eventually you're like,
I had to tell you.
You're like, hey, I'm at a point where I'm comfortable in our relationship. Just FYI, for your information, bud, I'm not loving all of this pink stuff. I don't need any more pink push-up bras. All right? You can just stop. We're good. Not everything needs to be pink, okay? Give me some white stuff. That's okay, too. Give me some blue. The necklace, that Tiffany necklace that I got you, there was a pink and a blue option. I got the blue one.
You did? Wait, did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Didn't I?
It's pink.
Are you sure?
Yeah. You didn't get blue? Well, I almost agreed with you, too. I was like...
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm dumb. Well, I did stop on other pink stuff. Teresa picked her own headphones. We've been over this. She picked her laptop color.
No, I love pink now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, there's so many red flags going on about this guy. Like, he's bringing up... Like, oh, they don't send nudes anymore. Okay, you live together. Like, that stuff is going to change.
You don't text me anymore. Why not? Is it because
we work right beside each other? Yeah.
You could still text me.
Okay.
You could.
Sure.
Maybe I'll text you.
Sure.
Looking good today. Hey. I see you. I spy you, sexy Teresa. Editing on her. No, doing some counting behind me. Counting some things.
Also, like, I don't know. We only had sex once since the fight, and I think she didn't even like it. She was just going through the motions because she knew I was horny. This is not a relationship I want to be in.
I don't think she wants to be in it either.
No.
I'm hoping the update comes, and he's like, hey, I tried to talk to her, and she broke up with me.
Yeah. Top comment. just because you make more money than her.
Oh, yeah,
there's that too.
I loved how
We
he
didn't even
pointed
talk
that
about
out. The
He's a fucking narcissist.
oh man, the blind, dumb confidence, narcissistic masculinity trait coming out there with, oh, I make more money, so therefore I bought her jewelry and gifts. Like, buddy, nobody cares.
And obviously, when you move in together, she's probably like, okay, you don't need to keep buying me the stuff because guess what? Your finances are probably meshing together now. She's like, okay, relax. Like,
She probably thinks you're dumb with your money too.
yeah. Like, this is the natural progression of a relationship, I fear.
Yeah.
Like, you are just not understanding that. Not everything will, like, okay. When people say, like, oh, you're still in the honeymoon phase and things will get real afterwards, I find that, like, notion to be more, like, depressing. It's, like, not really, like...
I feel like we've been on the honeymoon for, like, 7.5 years.
I agree.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
but
The
people
phase.
say it in, like, a depressing way. Like, oh, you're in the honeymoon phase. Things will come back down to reality soon or whatever.
That's
you know what
sad
I mean?
if you accept that.
I agree. But, like, for us, we are, like, I feel like permanently in the honeymoon phase. It's been 7.5 years and, like, we can't get enough of each other. But the natural progression of our relationship has been, like, yes, like, we went through, like, the love bombing
the gifts,
and everything,
the love bombing,
the gifts
yeah.
in the beginning of the relationship, like the sexting and stuff.
Going out to bars together.
Yeah, and, like, just treating each other and like, yes, that is stuff that comes naturally in the beginning of a relationship. And then, yes, like, things might simmer down when you move in together because, like, you see them more often. You don't
live with them.
You live with them. Your finances come.
Do you know why she sent you nudes? And do you know why you guys sex? Because you guys were apart and it was a way to bridge the gap.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't no gap when you're waking up to that stinky breath every morning.
Damn.
My stinky breath.
I was going to say.
Just me,
Speak
guys.
for yourself.
Out of the two of us, it's me. I'm the one.
Good save there. I could hear the hate comments already.
No, because wake up in the morning, I go to kiss you, and you're like, stop, don't breathe on me. It's like, I love you, babe, but can you please breathe through your nose? That's what I get Sunday mornings when we're chilling in bed.
I'm sorry.
All right,
okay, top
give me
comment.
the update.
Top comment. Just because you make more money than her and buy her stuff doesn't mean that she has to take your last name. It's not really about respect, in my opinion. A name is a very important thing to a lot of people. It's her right not to want to take it when you get married. And if it's really that important to you, maybe she's not the right girl for you. Quote, I want her to be my wife, not just a woman I live with. Wearing baubles that you buy for her and taking your last name isn't the difference between a woman and a wife.
Yeah.
All right. Update comes about 2 weeks later. A few weeks ago, I made a thread about a fight I was having with my girlfriend. At the time, I didn't listen to the people calling me the asshole. Instead, I listened to the guys at work who said the cause of my fights and coldness with Wendy was that Wendy was probably cheating on me. Wendy's used my computer a couple of times to check her email and saved her login info. I'd never been tempted to use it to look at her email, but last week I decided that the guys were probably right and snooped on Wendy's emails to see if she was cheating on me. This was a shitty thing for me to do. I know that. I found several long email conversations between Wendy and her friends and family. She complained about me and said she was thinking about cheating, but she wanted to stay with me until the time came to renew the lease on our apartment, at which point she'd leave. She was afraid I'd do something bad if she just broke up with me. To be honest, I almost shut down the computer then and there to sever with her on the spot. But then I kept reading. Wendy was telling her friends and family that she was legitimately afraid of me and that I was super controlling and she wasn't sure if I was being abusive by constantly buying her expensive things, then acting like she owed me something in return. She said it was charming, but a little overwhelming when we were just dating, but that I changed and drastically escalated when she moved in with me. Wendy being scared of me, calling me controlling and maybe abusive? Something about that thought stuck with me when I went to work the next day and listened to how the guys talk about their wives and girlfriends. And I realized something. They don't talk about women like they're people. Every time I've been to dinner or other event with work, the women everyone brings are either the most inane, shallow, real housewives I've ever met, or look like they want to kill everybody at the table, followed by themselves. Then I realized that was how my dad treated my mom too. Constantly bought her super expensive things and she'd make dinner or put on super nice things for sex. Yeah, I found my mom's lingerie drawer when I was a teenager. Okay, yuck.
Gross.
My dad said he was just buying things to be nice, but it was more like a transaction. And the guys at work did the same thing, and I was doing the same thing. I felt sick to my stomach when I realized all that. I guess it's guilt, or just not wanting to be like my dad, and realizing that the guys at work were assholes. I didn't want Wendy to be scared of me, but I guess I never really thought about how she saw what I was doing. And it's made me realize that I've been a fuck up and an asshole to women in general, not just Wendy. I don't want one of those vacuous bimbo trophy wives some of the guys at work have, and I don't want to turn someone into that. Even Wendy asked me what's wrong when I started feeling sick every time I've seen her this week. I'm not going to salvage this relationship. I know that. I guess my question is, should I tell her what I've realized and why? Should I tell her I realize what an asshole I've been but not tell her why? Or should I just let her leave when the lease comes up for the expiration and leave it at that? I hate myself. I really do. But I have to do what's right for Wendy and maybe look into some kind of counseling if there is such a thing for stuff like this. And I need different, better work friends.
Damn, bro. Holy shit. He just had like an aha moment. I'm just not seeing it go that way. I think that you should tell her what you've realized, but just don't tell her you snooped through her email. I don't know. I would completely side note. I just find it weird that she was talking all the shit he found in her email. Like, not like a text bubble or something.
I know. I was
And
also
just
thinking that. Like, who uses email for
who
that?
uses email for this? This should be a text message bubble about
Like,
it.
I wonder if he's just, saying email. No, he's 29. I feel like... I was going to say, if he was, older, people kind of use...
Yeah, I would definitely...
email and text is the same thing, but...
Maybe, yeah. But I would definitely, tell her that you realize that you're an asshole and apologize and say that you're sorry for that stuff. Maybe the relationship's salvageable. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think it
least,
should be.
I don't think it should be either. But at least tell her and yeah.
I honestly don't know if he should tell her. I think, in my opinion, telling her would be more to get it off of your chest. What would she benefit from it?
I don't know. She's saying that she's really scared of what he would do. So I feel like maybe that would make her not scared.
At least ease up for
maybe
the time
say
being.
hey, I think we should end the lease. We should part ways when we end the lease and stuff. I'm gonna start sleeping in the spare bedroom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's going through the motions because she's afraid of what he'll do.
Yeah.
Let her know she doesn't need to go through the motions to be afraid of what I'll do. I'm gonna go sleep in the guest bedroom. We'll end the lease. I think you should do that.
Yeah. Top comment. Tell her. I would absolutely want to hear this if I were her. I'd be careful how you go about it, though. Little things to think about. Listen to her. Don't interrupt her when she talks. Sit down when having the conversation. Make sure she has plenty of space. Also, I'd not block the door. I really think having this conversation with her would mean a lot to her and could be a good experience for you as well. I commend you for realizing that you haven't been the best version of yourself. Self-deception is a real danger for all of us, but we can always make ourselves better. You got this.
Yeah.
What a great
That's a good comment.
Character development moment for him.
Yeah. That's rare epiphany.
This is what happens when you hang around these people. Other people have so much influence on you.
Absolutely.
And also just your upbringing too.
Absolutely.
If that's all you know how to treat women,
you're only a product of your environment. I very strongly believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him. It does take a lot to realize this on your own.
Yeah, huge.
And look at, it's me. Hi.
I'm the one.
I'm the problem. Why do you always say I'm the one?
It sounds better.
No, I'm the problem. It's me.
I can't believe I'm the one is not a lyric anywhere. It just feels like it fits.
I'm sure there are many songs saying I'm the one.
There's a comment that says OP is John Foot Penis and you cannot convince me otherwise.
What?
There's a comment that says that the OP's name is John Foot Penis because he said his last name is a nickname.
I don't get it.
Instead of Dick being his last name is Foot Penis.
Foot Penis?
Yeah.
Oh.
Never mind. I'm pretty sure his last name was Dick. All right, back to me.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for banning my wife's friend from my house after she pushed me for taking my drunk wife home? My wife is 27 and I am 28. My wife has a friend, a bit of a close friend. In fact, she's been friends with her since past 2 years. I don't like her at all, and a lot of people find her insufferable. This weekend, my wife told me that she's going to her friend's house and she'll spend her evening and night at her place with their 2 other friends. I asked her if they'll drink. She told me yes, but she won't go overboard this time, and she'll book a cab and come home before 10.
Totally.
I told my wife that she won't book a cab. I'll come pick her up, and she shouldn't drink a lot. She promised me she won't, but I had this feeling that she might drink too much because my wife has tendencies of over drinking, especially when she's excited and partying. So I went to pick her up an hour before. When I showed up at her friend's place, I saw all these drunk women dancing, drinking, and screaming like they ran out of a mental asylum, and my wife was laying on the couch, clearly drunk. I grabbed my wife and told her it's time to leave. Her friend stopped me and insisted to let my wife stay for a bit longer, and even my wife said to wait a bit. I told them that they were having fun and drinking for so many hours, and it's more than enough for today. When I tried to leave with my wife, her friend tried to stop me a bit forcefully, and when I didn't listen to her, she pushed me and called me controlling and cursed me in front of everyone. I told her that the only reason I'm not retaliating is because she's a woman and I'm in her house. But from this moment, she's not allowed in my house. And if she comes over to my house ever again, I'll call the police. I left with my wife, and after we got home, I fed her, which she puked at midnight and went to sleep with me. And she didn't sleep until midnight and didn't let me sleep either and kept saying, my husband, and hugged me. And she kept complimenting me. I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy that. But anyway, now her friends are all telling me that I'm being a controlling husband, and I have no right to tell my wife what she can and can't do, and I don't have the right to ban her friend from her house. Am I the asshole? Sure, I'm a bit angry, but my anger is not without reason. And if I appear as a controlling husband, I think my wife's situation warrants it, and I'm just doing what I think is best for my wife.
What is your wife's situation? Like, what, her hanging around having friends and having fun?
And getting drunk?
Just some little girlhood moments?
Yeah.
What is the situation? Because when he says, and if I appear as a controlling husband, I think my wife's situation warrants it.
My client is just trying to do right by his wife.
No, he's trying to control her. No comeback?
I got nothing. The defense rests.
This, also, he came an hour early.
Yep.
Said not to drink too much. Why?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, okay, I can understand if she was a literal alcoholic.
Okay.
And if this was like something like she was sober for whatever. And like she has an issue with drinking. But if she's just having fun with her friends, I don't see what the problem is. Also, 10 o'clock is early.
But what time do they start drinking?
But it doesn't really matter, does it? Like,
if they start drinking at 3 in the afternoon, well, younger people start drinking at 10, 9, pre-drink.
Yeah, that's why
10.
I'm like, this is early.
She's already drunk by 9.
So then he picked her up an hour early.
Yeah, that's a little odd to show up a little hour early.
Also, why are you even in there in the first place? Like, why aren't you still in the car waiting for her?
Right?
Why did you go inside and drag her off the couch?
Why didn't you let an Uber pick her up?
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Ladies.
I guess the Uber thing, like, it could be a safety thing, a safety concern.
Protecting the wife now.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like the Uber thing isn't super controlling. I actually think it's kind of sweet.
So saying, no, Teresa, you will not take an Uber. I will come drive and get you. Not controlling?
No, I don't think that's controlling. I find that sweet. Like,
where's the line on that one?
I think it depends on your relationship. If it's meant, like, if it's coming from someone who's controlling, like, is it coming from a place that, like, you want to be there to pick her up because you want to make sure that she gets home by this time? That's controlling. But if it's because you want to pick her up because you don't want her to be drunk in an Uber and possibly not get home safely, then that's endearing. That's different. But given the context that we have here, I don't believe that he was doing it in, like, he wasn't coming from, like, a concerned place.
So what's your vote?
Asshole.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here are the facts of the case. She started drinking early.
How do you know? Where did it say that?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, here are the facts of the case. He went to pick her up 1 hour early at 9 o'clock, and therefore when they got home, she was puking her guts out because of how drunk she was. Therefore, she was too drunk at this time, and therefore my client is not guilty and was looking out for his smashed wife.
What is the issue with her being drunk?
Nothing. Okay, let me rephrase this. Do you think that maybe it could be slightly telling if the fact of when he went to pick her up, she's obliterated, and when he gets her home, she's puking? Not just, oh, they were drinking and, they were doing some karaoke and stuff, and when she got home, she was fine. But do you think it could be a bit telling in this case that it sounds like she's obliterated drunk? She comes home, she's puking, he has to feed her, and she's just mumbling, my husband, my husband, my husband. Could that be a little bit telling of how drunk she was in this situation?
I think yes. She probably was like super drunk.
So now could you also envision 5 other girls being inside the house being like, we're having so much fun. Don't ruin the vibe. Don't take her. Don't ruin the vibe. But she is so drunk that she's puking, where it's like, no. She's had enough fun. Appreciate that you guys want to continue partying, but she's about to start puking everywhere. I need to take her home.
Okay. I see that perspective. Like, that to me is coming from a place of concern.
If part of the story wasn't like she puked her guts out and my husband, and it was just like, I'm sad. Why are you taking me home so early? Like, I've only had 3 drinks.
Yeah.
That would be a little telling. I will say at first I was like, damn, this dude's controlling. Asshole.
Okay, I see that.
So then I kept reading.
Yeah.
So Opie responds to multiple comments about him being controlling of his wife's drinking and social habits. And this comment was downvoted that he said, how often I control my wife's drinking habits? As often as I can. I don't want her to die of alcohol poisoning or something of the sort when we are still so damn young. I'm not her father, I'm her husband. And if it makes me a controlling husband just because I'm making sure my wife doesn't overdrink and trying to save the life of the person I love the most, then I'll gladly accept that I'm the most controlling husband on this planet. Bit dramatic, right? I feel the same way when I see my wife so wasted she can't control her drinking, then I'll do it on her behalf. I'm not sure how old you are or if you're okay with your loved ones ruining their life, but I think alcohol is a real problem, at least what I think, not sure about you.
Okay.
I would like to point out that at one point, alcohol was illegal, and you could kind of constitute alcohol as being like a classified drug. If your spouse was snorting cocaine or doing some other hard drug, would you not want to encourage them to not overdose?
Yeah.
There is such thing as alcohol poisoning, and you can drink too much and actually die, like type of thing.
Yeah.
So now where is the line of being controlling and not letting your partner die from alcohol poisoning?
I think I'm swayed.
Because I am also like, let's recap. They came home and she was puking. That means that you drank a lot.
Yeah. I think I'm actually on OP's side now. Like, this reply.
Do you remember Lexus Christmas party?
How can I forget?
Do you think it was reasonable of you to try to convince me to stop drinking so much, stop taking so many tequila shots?
Yeah.
Do you think it would have been bad for you to say, pound another tequila shot, Denver?
No, I was actually really concerned. I do get concerned when it comes to drinking because
fair point.
Sometimes I'm like, when you get drunk, I have to like watch you breathe at night and make sure that make sure you're fucking alive, bro. It's just the hypochondriac in me, though.
That's funny. So moving on in the case.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am gonna change my mind though. Like that context that he just brought up.
No. You stay on your side.
No, I want to be on your side.
No. You made your choice. You called him the asshole.
Why? Now I have
You got to
more...
ride it. You got to ride it out.
No, now
you
I
can
have
change
more
your vote
context.
You can change your vote later. You haven't had all the context yet. Wait till you get all the context. Then you can see what side of the jury you want to pull. Fine. Commenter says, we need more. What did your wife have to say the next day when the hangover passed and she learned all that happened? OP replies and says, my wife didn't remember exactly what happened. My wife agreed with me when I told her that her friend is no longer allowed in my house. Her question to me was that if she was really that drunk, and I just said yes, and I told her that I'm not letting her get drunk like this ever again. She didn't meet or go over to her friend's house after that weekend, and she didn't drink more a shot a day. I see improvement and her guilty, so I'm taking it slow with her and letting her think for herself.
She didn't drink more a shot a day?
I'm thinking more than a shot a day.
Like she has a shot every day?
I guess so.
Okay. I think she's probably an alcoholic.
Do you think this comment that OP says that says, my wife didn't remember exactly what happened. So are you telling me that? So
she was blackout.
So members of the jury, here are the facts. She puked when she came home. She didn't remember how drunk she was the night before. Therefore, it is probable cause to think that she was blackout wasted and that he did the right thing by taking her home early.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just picturing myself in this situation. Like, if it were you, I would have the same concerns as him. Just initially with the first post, I thought that it may just be like, he doesn't want her to have fun with her friends. That's what I was giving. Like, okay, don't have fun with your friends. Like, don't drink, don't do this. Like, I'm coming to pick you up at 9 o'clock. But this is now coming from a concern. Jack, are you okay? This is more coming from a concerned aspect where he's like, well, I don't want her to die, to literally die. That is my wife.
He also comments and says, it's actually so stupid and concerning that most of the Redditors here are saying that I'm controlling, but do not understand my wife's drinking habits. I know my wife has a problem with alcohol, and I hope and pray to God that my wife would be just as controlling and do whatever needs to be done to help me escape my addiction if I ask as in her stead. My wife is addicted and her friends are encouraging her instead of helping her stop. Do these commenters have any experience what it's like to live with an alcoholic, to clean puke at midnight? It's not in me to just give up on my love and find someone else. I would rather try my best to help my wife than just divorcing her and leave her on her own. I love her more than anything else, and if I have to become a controlling husband, I will, as long as she stops getting drunk like this. I will do whatever it takes to help her with her alcoholism, and if it makes me an abuser or controlling husband, then I'm okay with that. As long as my wife is healthy and leads a good life without alcohol. I'm losing my mind just reading these comments.
I think OP should have put more context in the initial post.
Maybe describe a bit more about
she
the
is an
wife
alcoholic.
drinking and not focus in on
That
whether
would have changed
the friend,
everything.
He's focused on whether the friend pushed, and he assumed we should all know about this. So there is an update that comes in 9 days later. First of all, I want to thank everyone for their helpful advice. And I didn't realize that my post blew up and that I got more than 6,000 comments on my post. I stopped reading and started focusing on my wife and her health instead. When I logged back in, I read a lot of the comments. Obviously, I couldn't go through them all, so to clarify, yes, when it comes to drinking, I am a bit controlling to keep my eyes on her, make sure she doesn't overdrink, and I won't let her grab a cab when she's drunk. Not sure why some people are upset that I didn't let my drunk wife grab a cab alone to come back home and I picked her up instead. Even if I'm at work and she calls me, I'll leave work and go drive her home. It's not codependency. Even if I'm at work and if she calls me, I'll leave work and go drive her home. It's not codependency. I'm just taking care of my wife when she's vulnerable. If she's sober, I obviously have no need to go through all this. I'm not her father, I'm her husband, and I feel like it's my responsibility to help and take care of her when she's drunk. I told my wife that she's been drinking way too much, and the amount of alcohol she consumes during social events is obnoxious, and even on a daily basis. I told her that after I brought her back home from her friend's house, she drank only a shot a day when I was present, but when I wasn't with her, did she drink even more? I would never know. I told her that I want to help her and don't want to lose her, but I also don't want to clean her puke and the floor all the time. And your friends actually encourage you to drink more instead of stopping you. And when I tried to pick you up like I always do, her friend pushed me. She said she didn't realize that she was causing me so much trouble and she's going to stop drinking. I told her that drinking is fine as long as it's occasional and in moderation. Since then, my wife didn't drink much. She drank yesterday after almost a week, but didn't go overboard, and she said she'll seek a counselor and seek medical treatment if she can't control herself. Am I controlling? Yes, I guess, but only when it comes to alcohol. Even I didn't realize that my wife is getting addicted or already got addicted, and like others commented, that I can't forcefully help my wife and she'll start blaming me. I still don't want to give up on my love. I love her. I know she loves me. She confesses her love to me in even more embarrassing ways than just hugging me and repeating, "My husband." I'm not a professional, but I'm currently making my wife exercise and make sure she's taking enough multivitamins.
I did a full 180 with this. I had my pitchfork out.
The court had found him guilty. Good thing he found a good enough lawyer on ThreadTalk.
Good job, honey. Wow.
I rest my case.
He's a good man, Savannah. That is a good man. Looking out for a shot a day? That should have been in the initial post, buddy.
Why do you take shots? Like, I can understand if you're grabbing like a beer or like a seltzer. But man, if I just come home and the first thing I need after work is a shot of vodka.
That's wild.
My man, I love to burn.
Damn.
All right, back to you.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my girlfriend move into my house after she lost her apartment? 28 male here. My 27 female girlfriend and I have been dating for about 2 years. We don't live together. I own my home, inherited from my grandparents, completely paid off, and she had a rental apartment about 20 minutes away. About a month ago, she lost her apartment. Long story short, it was due to rent increase that she couldn't afford and some issues with her roommates. She immediately asked if she could move in with me just until she figures things out. Here's the thing. I like living alone. I never really planned to live with anyone until I was married, and even then, I'm weird about my space. Plus, I feel like we aren't at a stage yet where moving in together would be smart. I told her no, gently, and offered to help her pay for a short-term rental or even an Airbnb while she got back on her feet. She blew up, said I was abandoning her and choosing my house over our relationship. She's been staying with a friend but barely talks to me now. Mutual friends say I was cold and selfish. Honestly, I feel bad, but I also feel like moving in out of pressure would have been a disaster. Am I the asshole?
No.
Tell me your thoughts.
I mean, if he's not comfortable with her moving in, then no. They're not at that stage yet. How long they were dating?
2 years.
I mean, if you're not there, you're not there. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, after 2 years of dating and you say that you don't want me to move in with you, it's like, is this really a relationship that I want to continue? I'll probably break up with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily think he's an asshole, but I think he probably has commitment issues.
Sounds like it.
Like, Jack is in the sink. Jack is in the sink.
What is going on with this guy? Oh, he's wilding out right now. There he is.
Do you think the camera's getting it?
I think the camera could be clipping it right now.
Oh my god. What the hell? Don't lick our toothbrush.
He's gotta go brush his teeth.
Don't lick our toothbrush. Should we continue? Or?
I guess so.
Hi guys, just a quick note from Editing Denver here for Spotify users. If you want to know what we're talking about and you want to see it, come over to our YouTube channel where we do have a cat cam showing why Jack is in the bathroom sink. And while you're there, don't forget to smash the like button on this video and maybe subscribe to watch more future episodes on YouTube. All right, thanks guys. Now back to the story.
Yeah, I think like obviously you don't have to move in with anybody if you are not comfortable to. But after 2 years,
You'd think you'd be ready. It's like, it's kind of, you're at the point in your relationship where it's like, okay, either we're taking the next step or we're breaking this off. Like, if you're not willing to move in with me and take the next step, where's this relationship going? this relationship is going nowhere. Why would I want to continue to move on with this relationship?
Yeah, exactly. So there's an update. Thanks for all the responses. I honestly didn't expect this many thoughtful takes, even the critical ones. After reading your comments and thinking it through, I realized the situation highlighted some bigger issues between us that were already there. We've been together for 2 years, but we hadn't had a serious conversation about moving in, future plans, finances, etc. I guess I assumed we were both on the same page because things were good day to day. Clearly, we weren't. I did reach out to her to talk things through calmly. I explained again that my hesitation wasn't about not caring. It was about how important it is to me to move in intentionally, not out of crisis or pressure. Unfortunately, the conversation didn't go well. She was still extremely upset, said she felt like I abandoned her when she needed me, and accused me of playing house with her for 2 years without meaning it. I don't think we're going to come back from this. I still love her, but it's clear now that we have a very different idea of what partnership looks like. I'm heartbroken, but also kind of relieved that I saw this now rather than making an even bigger commitment.
Yo, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. I need to move in at my own pace, not at a moment of crisis. Like, buddy, it's been 2 years, bro. Either you're ready or you're not. If you're not, it's fine. Let her move on, though.
I feel like we moved in because of crisis. Not really crisis,
but
but
it
like
just made sense.
it made sense. Like you were looking for a new place, and I didn't want you
You didn't want me to get a roommate.
get a roommate.
So I was like, well, if you don't want me to like get a roommate downtown, then you should move out of your parents and we should get a place together.
Yeah.
A little bachelor pad.
It wasn't necessarily because like our
Well,
relationship got to that point. It was like
yeah, and it wasn't also because like one person didn't have a place to live either.
yeah, that's true.
I guess we kind of made that decision like that we could have more time together. And I was like, you're going to be coming downtown all the time. You're going to be sleeping at my house during the week, and then you're going to be leaving during the weekends, and then eventually you're going to like, oh, I'm not going to go home this weekend. Then after 6 months, you're going to go home like once a month or even less or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just move in now. We did 6 weeks in Europe. We're obviously head over heels for each other. We can do this. We're obviously going to get married one day. Like, or we're obviously going to get married 5 years down the road. So like, let's just move in now.
I do kind of find it weird. Like, why wouldn't you want to move in with your partner?
Right? I feel like at the first opportunity, you should just be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, if you're there, if you're at that commitment, like, if you have to second question that, like, you should be
Yeah.
breaking up then.
Like, I don't know, because obviously you are the only relationship that I've been in. So you are all I know. But like for us, I like wanted to be around you 24/7. So I like couldn't jump faster at the thought of moving in with you.
Same.
So I just feel like is it because I don't know, we are codependent on each other? Because I
I
think
feel like
we
we're
are.
kind of
But
toxically codependent on each other, but I'm here for it.
same, like, do I care to fix it? No.
Man.
But at the same time though, like I feel like most people in loving relationships want to spend more time with their partner and
Yeah.
like want to maximize that time by moving in together.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I think it is kind of telling if you don't want to move in. And I think OP's girlfriend has every right to be upset by this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're not willing to help me, first of all, when you are able to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And second of all, you're not ready for this level of commitment yet. Like,
If you're not ready for this level of commitment, then like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Why are we still dancing outside?
yeah. There's a second update.
We're dancing outside. It's not even raining.
Wait,
Why
what
are we
do you,
doing this?
Wait, what? You said dancing outside?
Because you usually dance inside.
What did you say? I
Dancing
totally
outside and
mis-
it's not even raining. Why are we dancing outside?
Why are we dancing outside?
Yeah, if you're dancing outside and it's raining, that's like one thing. You're doing it for the rain. But like when you know, when are we gonna take this dance inside?
Okay.
Don't act like you don't know.
Okay, I think I get it.
Don't act like you don't get
Did
it.
you just make that up?
No. No, not at all.
You're such a little weirdo.
You love it.
I do.
Love it so much. Put a ring on it.
Okay, update 2. So yeah, we broke up. After trying to talk again and explain where I was coming from, it became clear we were on totally different wavelengths. She said I never planned to make room for her, and that the situation proved I was never serious. I told her that wasn't true. I was serious, but I also wasn't comfortable letting a crisis force a living arrangement we never discussed or agreed on. I still didn't want to leave her stuck. I give her enough money for a deposit and first month's rent to get her back on her feet. I didn't owe her that, but I cared about her and I didn't want things to end bitterly. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. She's been telling people I kicked her out, left her homeless, and let her on for 2 years. A few mutuals reached out. One even asked if I actually promised her we were going to move in soon. I never did. She told people we were already planning to move in, something we literally never talked about. That really hurt. I'm not perfect, but I never lied to her, never made promises I didn't mean, and I offered help. I didn't expect things to go this way, but I guess I'm glad I learned what I did before we got in any deeper. Thanks to everyone who gave honest feedback, especially those who asked hard questions. I've got a lot to think about going forward.
I'm going to hide the pitchfork behind my back that I had out and was calling him an asshole. And I now think that he dodged a bullet. I gave you first and last, and you still went around telling everybody that I left you homeless and I kicked you out, even though you never even lived with me in the first place. And you told everybody that we were planning to move in together when we never did. Listen, I ain't be an asshole because I'm like, I'd rather you go sign a 12-month lease before you live with us because we need a plan for it instead of like adapting to the situation. But then you just turn around and shit talk to me. I dodged a bullet. Man.
Yeah.
Dude needs a good divorce lawyer, breakup lawyer.
I forgot I didn't read the top comments before I read the updates, so let me just do that now. She probably thinks you have issues with commitment if you're not sure about living together after 2 years.
I think he just needs everything to be by a plan, and he's not able to be, he's not a flexible person. He's not the type of guy that when a family member says, yo, I'm at the beach down the road, that he's going to drop what he's doing and go swim at the beach with his extended family member. He's not that kind of guy. That's not him. That's not this guy.
Another comment says, dude, 2 years and you don't even plan on living together with her? Just be single. It'll legit be better this way. My pitchfork is still out.
Mine's out. It's just hidden behind my back. I don't want him to see that I have my pitchfork. You know what I mean? It's behind my back.
I feel like...
I think he dodged a bullet still.
Yeah, they both kind of suck because why did she lie about that?
I'm more on his side now because now I'm like, hey, maybe he's autistic. Maybe he needs to like plan things out. Maybe he can't like, you know, work on the flow like this.
Doesn't
and
like change.
Doesn't like change. He's had things structured and stuff.
Yeah, like this was, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe she like sleeps over sometimes and he's like, man, she's a mess. Do I really want to live with that?
Then break up with her.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I am leaning more towards he dodged a bullet because like what the hell happened? I gave you first and last, and you went and said I left you homeless. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you. All right, back to me. Would I be the asshole if I asked my pregnant wife to move out because she and her best friend decide to test my loyalty? My wife is pregnant with our daughter. Initially, we were very happy and excited about it, but then she starts acting like a nut job. She gets angry and irritated for small things, insults me when she doesn't like the food I make, starts acting insecure, and accuses me of losing attraction for her. For example, she wanted to eat chicken sandwiches for dinner last week. Well, I made chicken sandwiches. So she eats all of the sandwiches, leaves me with nothing, and then told me that they tasted like shit. I wasn't pissed because she left me nothing, but if she didn't like them, why did she have to eat everything? When I asked her this, she told me that she was hungry. Okay, fine. But she does this every time. Eats everything I make and then calls it shit. I don't argue with her because I work more than 80 hours a week and I really want to have some peace when I'm home. So yesterday, a random girl starts at flirting with me after the gym and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her for some drinks. I rejected her and told her that I was married. And when I got home, my wife started to hug me and apologize. When I asked her what happened, she told me that her best friend suggested to test for my loyalty. So they asked a mutual friend to flirt with me and asked me out, and I passed. Yay! I'm really pissed. I'm done with her antics. Would I be the asshole if I ask her to move out?
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Where is she going to go?
Not really his problem.
It kind of is. It's his wife. Are you saying that if you
Wait.
tested my loyalty and I say you need to get out, where you go is not my problem?
Sorry. Okay. Is he just saying move out and they still stay married?
She needs to get out of the house.
Okay. I think this is divorce worthy.
Okay.
So.
But
what-
even then, you're saying I can just kick you out and it's not my problem where you go? Even if I want to get a divorce?
Okay. I see where the question is now. It's
And
if I ask her to move out.
cherry on top, she's pregnant.
Okay, yes, she is pregnant, but like,
Liz, I can understand the loyalty test being breakup worthy, but is it divorce worthy? You made a commitment. Through death shall us part. Through sickness
through what? Through what? Through what? Through death shall us part.
Yeah. We'll only part if we die.
Wait, is that how it's said?
I think so.
No.
Pretty sure.
Through death do us part.
Yeah.
You said through death shall us part.
Whatever, same thing.
I don't
Through
think
sickness
that
and
makes
in health, through my smarts and your stupidity, we will stay together. That's basic vows.
Okay, but why would she
Why would she?
do this loyalty test?
Doesn't
thing?
matter. Doesn't matter. You said
But
vows.
that
You said for
Yeah,
better
but the
or for
vows
worse.
also apply to her.
Right. But for better or for worse. Through your stupidity, for better or for worse.
Okay, if we're gonna bring the vows into this, then she needs to trust that he is loyal.
Okay, but sure, but we're out. That's not the important part right now. Is it? How is it divorce worthy if I said I promise through better or for worse? This is obviously the worst, on the worst side.
I don't. Okay, I obviously can see the conclusion here, and I don't agree with it.
You don't think he's the asshole?
I don't.
He was voted the asshole.
I know.
Top comment says, "Yikes! May I suggest couples therapy first? What she did was clearly an asshole move, although I don't think you'd be in the right to have her move out while pregnant."
I don't think like being pregnant gives you like full immunity to being a shit partner. Like, I think you should still be allowed to get broken up with or get divorced while you're pregnant. Like,
listen, my client hired me to defend her case as the pregnant lady in this.
oh,
So I will do the best as I can to defend my client. Her husband made vows to her that said, through better or worse. The worse, in brackets, clearly said, through my stupid pranks and antics, you will stay with my ass, pregnant or not.
Okay, but she's also mean to him.
Through better or worse. I am obviously at my worst. But you promised me, you put a ring on my client's finger,
But he's getting
and
treated
you promised
like shit.
her.
He's getting treated like shit.
He's going through the worst right now, but he still made a solemn vow of solidarity to be with this woman for the rest of his life.
So he should just put up with that?
He married.
No, okay.
He took a vow, a sacred vow. He needs to honor his vow. I rest. The defense rests.
I rest.
The defense rests.
I'm
Not convinced.
I'm not convinced he's the asshole. I'm really shocked at this verdict.
Mm.
I'm not convinced that he is the asshole. I understand she's pregnant, and yes, I do have sympathy for that, obviously. I don't know where she'll go. Like, maybe he can help with another accommodation or something. Like, maybe he can put her in, like, rent an apartment for her or something. But, like, I don't think this relationship should continue.
You don't think so?
No.
I do find it very interesting because this is tagged as asshole, but several of the next top comments are saying, not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. The eating and everything and complaining sounds like pregnant mood swings, and you would be the asshole for holding it against her. The loyalty test, that's a shitty thing to do. Throwing her out seems a bit much, especially since she's pregnant. She probably has some self-esteem issues right now. She has a shitty best friend, but maybe you should talk to her and tell her about that stuff is not okay. Okay, I'm back here as the client and defense attorney. You took a solemn vow. The least you could do is go to some couples therapy before you kick her out.
Yeah.
Did you go to the therapy? Did you do the work? Did you do the session? Did you put in the work?
Yeah, I guess the first conversation needs to be had with her and tell her
Also,
how this makes you feel. And also the being rude to him and like just putting him down, that's not okay. You need to talk to her about that.
yeah, but also you put the baby in my client. You made these hormones go crazy. There's pregnancy hormones. You did that to my client. She didn't get pregnant by herself.
Yeah, but okay.
You made her pregnant, and now she has crazy hormones, crazy thoughts. She could be in a dark place right now, questioning your life. Maybe she was being rude to you because you had given her signs that you were cheating. You work 80 hours a week. Are you really at work? You're really at work? When you come home, you want peace. You're not giving her any attention. Where you been? 80 hours a week? Who works 80 hours a week? People barely work 60 hours a week.
A whole story
No,
right now.
40 hours is a work week. What are you doing for double? You working 16-hour days, 5 days a week?
Bro.
Where are you working? What are you doing? Spend some time with your wife.
Okay, I can...
You said through death do us part, not work do us apart.
Okay. Oh, it actually says 80 hours a week.
Yeah. Who works 80 hours? You sure you ain't cheating, bro?
This whole time I thought you just made that up.
No, 80 hours a week. You could be spending 40 hours with the second family.
I literally thought you just made that up. Oh my God. Am I slow? Damn. That's why I was laughing at you. Okay. Okay. Interesting.
How many hours?
Bro, you're a good defense attorney. What the hell?
How many hours do you get in a week? You get 168 hours a week, okay, guys? And you got to sleep roughly 8 hours a day. That's 56 of your 186, I think. 186 minus 186. That leaves you with 130. Okay, I guess there's like 50 more hours in the week that he still has. Where are you, bro? God damn, I hope nobody listening to this has to work 80 hours a week.
I'm sure there are people out there.
Oh,
people
man.
in healthcare.
Damn. That's crazy. So what do you say? You don't think maybe she's acting this way is because he gives her no attention? He's never home. There's potential for him to be cheating 40 plus hours a week to be cheating.
Okay. I think he needs to have a conversation with her first.
Maybe through couples therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think he's the asshole for just kicking her out?
I guess so.
You decided to put the baby in her. You gave her the weird hormones.
See, but I don't know if like hormones make you.
Are you pregnant?
Mean.
How can you say that you don't know? You've never experienced them. You have no idea what this woman is going through right now. We need to call in a professional witness. Need to get my sister on the line. Madison, bring. I have consulted a professional. It's plausible.
All right. Well,
they affect every woman differently.
I guess so. Okay. I don't know where I stand with this.
Not guilty.
Sure.
Do you have reasonable doubt?
What does that mean?
You're not 100% convinced.
Yes.
There's reasonable doubt.
Yes.
I have done my job. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The defense rests.
The best part is you look like a lawyer today in your suit.
Looking sharp. I'm ready for the courtroom. All right. Back to you.
All right. Am I the asshole for telling my son's girlfriend to stay away from him because she is distracting him from his responsibilities? I, 50 male, am a single father to my son, 15 male. My then girlfriend got addicted to drugs and walked out shortly after he was born. She is no longer in our lives. My son has been making exceptional grades and he plays for his high school's baseball team. He is pretty good at that, though my opinion may be a little biased, lol. Anyway, that was until he started dating a girl, 17 female. They met while they were assigned as partners on a project, and I guess they hit it off pretty fast because this came out of the blue for me when I picked him up one day and he just said, "Dad, I have a girlfriend now." I was proud and excited for him that my son was finally becoming a man. I also had a remedial version of the talk with him. Can never be too careful. They've been dating for the past few months and they seem very happy together. But my problem is that my son's grades has been slipping. He's been skipping out on chores at the house and missing practices and games. I'm not mad that he is dating. However, that should come after business, school, baseball, etc. So last week, I told him that he is no longer allowed to spend time with her unless he gets his shit together. He responded, "But Dad, I really like this girl." I told him, "That doesn't matter. If you fail or flunk out of school, I don't want you seeing her, and that's final." He sighed and said, "Fine." I figured that was the end of it. Well, until yesterday when I came back home from the store and I found them on the living room couch together. He lied to me and said he would have a friend over to study. My son froze like a deer in headlights. I told him to go to his room and then I turned to his girlfriend. Now, I'll admit that I might have been a little stern, but I told her to get the hell out of my house and stay away from my son. He doesn't need this distraction, and if I ever catch you two again, it won't be pretty for either of you. Then the waterworks started, and she stormed out. I go upstairs to my son, who is already on the phone, telling my mother and my sister. His aunt and grandmother have always spoiled him. I take the phone and try to explain, but I get lectured for being too hard on him, he's just a boy, etc., etc. I'm just trying to keep my son from ruining his life before it even starts. If he fixes his grades and everything, he can see her again. So I figured it'd be best to get an unbiased third-party opinion. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, defense attorney rests on this one. I think he's the asshole. Listen, I am not a parent, and this could be my narcissistic trait for thinking that I know exactly how to handle this situation. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments what do you think about this, guys. Maybe you sit your kid down and you give him the rock and the sand in a glass metaphor. And you're like, hey, listen, you have 7 different sized rocks. Here's how everything goes together.
One, yeah.
Here's at your age. Here's the main thing. School, put the biggest rocks in first. Softball, slightly smaller rocks, put it in there. Chores at home, put it in there. The sand is the time you spend with your girlfriend. If you get all the big chunks first, you stay successful, and the sand, a healthy relationship, because he has no idea what a healthy relationship is. He's like, I have a girlfriend now, yay! But like, you don't actually know, like, you know, how to balance that. You're just like, I'm obsessed with this new person. It's a new thing. It's cool. But it's like a healthy relationship will help you thrive. They will help you do your schoolwork. They'll help you study. They'll help you do this. And then after your goals have met, they are the sand that holds everything else together. And if your relationship isn't looking like that, then that's not a healthy relationship. And, you know, I'm happy for you. And I didn't want to say anything at first because I wanted you to figure this out on your own. But now your grades are slipping. You're missing practices. Your coaches are calling me. You're letting it fall apart over a girl. And I want to take you on a drive to a bad part of town and shows you what happened when people let things slip out of control. Like what kind of, like, you know, take them to, like, you know, show them the prosperous things of life and jobs and, you know, things that aren't and stuff. And like what you'll get if you work hard and what could potentially be your future if you don't. Show him what futures between the two lives look like.
But he is not doing, he's not like flunking everything and skipping school to go do drugs or anything.
Well, it doesn't matter. If it's drugs or girlfriend, it's the same thing. He's getting a dopamine kick out of it. He's missing games and practices. He's skipping out on the chores at home. He's been skipping grades and he's been skipping classes and his grades. He's a kid. You gotta try to explain to him, like, try to at least let him envision and build like what the consequences are of your actions at this point. You're not going to get into university. Here's what university provides for you. You got to show him the positivities and you got to try your best to like show him. That would be me personally. I would be sitting him down. I would be like, you know, going to the corporate jobs and, you know, showing him that stuff and then showing him hard labor jobs of like what that entails and stuff.
You also don't want them to be like, okay, I feel like people with hard parents growing up, they only get reassurance through, okay, I don't know what the word for it is, but they will seek other people's approval a lot.
Validation?
Yeah, yes. They'll seek, yes. They want people's validation when it comes to stuff like this. Like if you're only like, if you're putting this much pressure on a 15-year-old, they're going to grow up thinking like they have to do all these hard things. And otherwise, like no one else, like no one will be proud of you if you don't do these hard things.
I think whichever way you go about it, you just got to try to like build in your kid, them building up their own goals and trying to achieve what they want to achieve, but like showing them the benefits of it and not just being like, you need to do this because I said so. Well, that's why I was trying to like not put the pressure of like this is what you have to do and with no reason. Like you want to show them like, hey, here's why you want to keep your grades up. Here's what you can achieve in life. Take them through the Malibu lakeshore houses and stuff. Here's what you can achieve in life when you keep your grades up and you work hard and you go for it.
I do. Okay. But at the same time, like there are so many jobs out there that like don't really require, like people can still be happy and live in like their middle class, like 1-car garage home. Like all I'm saying is like money isn't everything. Like getting
Agreed.
the best grades in your school or like getting into the top university, like that isn't everything. And I think there's like a lot of pressure on kids who have parents like OP who grow up and then they realize like they're not doing this for themselves or doing this for their parents. This isn't something that they realize that they wanted all this time, and they grow up very unhappy because they're kind of forced in this position. If you, I don't know, like maybe they become a partner at a big 4 company only because their parents were ever hard on them, and then they live a miserable freaking life because they were never really given autonomy over that.
Okay, well, I'd like to say in my defense, that's not what I'm advocating for.
Okay.
I'm saying you give them the healthy structure and you try to show them why they should work for the goals that they want. Not just, you have to keep your grades up so you can go to this school and do this. It's like, you should show them why they should keep their grades up.
I just think
And
like
let them
there needs
create
to
their
be
own
a
goals.
balance. And
Agreed.
But OP is not allowing this balance.
He's not.
This
No.
is a
OP
little
is not.
bit
And
toxic for me.
and he just snapped on the girlfriend. Uncalled
Yeah,
for.
definitely. That definitely makes him the asshole. Hi, Luna.
Meow. Meow. I would also, after I've given the rock example to him, or maybe I would give it to both of them at the same time. I come home, I find them fooling around. Maybe I give them the rock example.
No, that is not your kid.
That doesn't mean that you can't give them the rock example.
No, I don't think you should be saying that to the girlfriend.
I
don't think that's your place at all.
Do you think it's a terrible place to be like, hey, I'm very happy that you guys are in a relationship. How you guys are spending a lot of time together. But like, I've noticed that now my son is skipping school. He's missing games. He's missing his homework. I would love it if you encouraged him to get his homework done, did not encourage him to skip school, and you fill the important milestones, and then your relationship is the sand around everything.
I don't really think that should be a conversation with the girlfriend. I don't think you have any place to have that talk with her. I honestly think this is between you and your son only, and you can't tell her, do this for my son, or like
You can't have a conversation?
I think that's a little bit icky to me.
I don't see it as icky.
I don't know. I'm not on board
You're
for
treating
that.
them as an adult.
Yeah, but it's not your place. I don't think it's your place.
I think
you as a parent
I think as a
need to
parent
have that conversation with your son.
I think as a parent, it is your place, especially if they are in your home. I don't think if you come about it the right way and try to have an adult conversation with them, I feel that that's wrong. If you go over to their house and you go to their parents or you go to them, you're like, how do you need to do this? But you come home and you're like, hey, like you create a relationship. If you are a decent parent, I feel like you create a relationship with the girlfriend or the boyfriend, whoever it is. They come over, they hang out, they eat your pizza, whatever. You can have an adult conversation with another like person that is dating your kid and being like, hey, I want the best for you guys, but like try not to skip school so much. I don't know.
I don't really love that. I feel like, what if you were the son and you found out your girlfriend is kind of scheming behind your back with your dad?
It's not scheming, it's having a conversation. And what I'm saying he did it with both of them together. Like he came home and he just went, get the fuck out of my house. Versus, hey guys, I just want to have a conversation with you. Here's the concerns I'm having. Here's what I don't want to happen to you guys in life. Here's the rock analogy. Your relationship should be the sand that fills the glass after you get all your important stuff done.
Maybe. I would not do that. I don't think it's your place to like have that conversation with your son's girlfriend. I think that's only your place as like a parent and for your son. But yeah, I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Top comment. Yes, if there's anything centuries of classic love stories have a catalyst, is the overwhelming support of the parents. You're bang on the right track there. Yes, sirree, I can't see any glaringly obvious problem with adding a forbidden romance element to their young lives. Fucking hell, were you born 50?
That's what I'm saying. Like, his approach is absolutely terrible.
Yes.
I'm not the defense attorney for this guy. That's not happening this time.
Okay, I'm just... Edit. Okay, so first, I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to give me this well-deserved, years-long overdue attitude adjustment. I was an asshole in this situation. While I was in the right to be worried about my son's academic performance and his responsibilities at home, I'll admit that I let my temper get the best of me, and I acted on impulse with how I handled the situation. I shouldn't have yelled at the girl. After talking to my son, it turns out that he never told her that he wasn't allowed to see her. She didn't know, and I should have gone to my son instead of taking it out on her. My job, plus the past trauma from my ex leaving, are not stresses that I can self-manage anymore. I'm done lying to myself, and I will be looking into therapy soon. My son has invited her over for dinner later this week. I plan to apologize and explain the situation, and I'll try to work with them to have fair rules that will encourage my son to stop slacking off while also allowing him to spend time with her. You get more flies with honey and vinegar, and prohibition will only make my son lie and sneak around, which could lead to him doing dangerous and irresponsible things. I showed my son some of the comments, and he's been laughing his ass off at everyone roasting me, lol.
That's what I'm saying. Invite them over to dinner, have a conversation. I feel like it's fair as a parent to be like, your kid starts dating someone, be like, oh, make sure, you get Y's name to like help you study for your test and stuff. Be like encouraging them to like study together, do their homework together.
Yes, I agree with encouraging.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is another edit. So my son brought her over for dinner, and the first thing I did was apologize to her, both for yelling and for telling her to leave. I emphasized that she was innocent in the situation and I shouldn't have reacted the way I did. She accepted my apology, and now I feel a little less like a monster, lol. I also fully explained the situation with my son slacking off, and she was extremely understanding, and it turns out she's actually a pretty smart girl herself. Honor Society, 4.0, AP classes, etc. Turns out my son has been, well, downplaying to her just how bad he's been slacking off to her. She is actually willing to help me hold him accountable. She has a car, so she'll start taking him to baseball practice and his games. It actually makes it easier on me, and it means they'll be able to see each other more after school while ensuring he actually goes. Plus, he's more motivated to go if she is there supporting him. That, and she'll also start helping him study so he can get his grades back up. Again, they can spend time together outside of school, but he'll also get his homework done. She joked and said that his household chores were on him. She draws a line at his dirty underwear, lol. However, my son did agree to start doing better at cleaning up after himself around the house. It really is amazing what can happen when you express your concerns through a discussion instead of a lecture/rant. It actually felt like my son was taking in and understanding what I was telling him instead of just, get a load of this old man. And for some backstory about my son's girlfriend, it turns out they use my house for their primary hangout spot because her parents don't like her relationship with him. Apparently, they were glad that my little outburst the other day scared her away, hopefully for good. I don't really know how to feel about that. I was half expecting an angry dad to be on my doorstep. Whatever happened from there would be 100% on me, lol. Anyways, told them that they are welcome to hang out at the house anytime, within reason of course, as I don't want them sneaking around and getting in trouble, and if they ever need privacy, just let me know. Not directly, lol. And I'll find a reason to be out of the house for a few hours, no questions asked. Just be safe and smart, and try not to make me a grandfather until my pension is firing on all cylinders. I'm really happy and proud of my son, and I'm glad he's starting to experience love for the first time. Once his girlfriend left, I half-jokingly told him, don't screw this up. She really cares about you and had a heart to forgive my ass after what I did. Thank you to the fine people in the subreddit for the advice and the course correction. So, all things considered, I think the situation is resolved and all is forgiven. Thanks, folks.
See, that's what I'm saying. A little bit of communication with the couple together about expectations. And yeah, the son was like lying. He was like downplaying it to her. And I'm like, if they studied together and they do stuff together, it could all be for the better.
Yeah, I'm glad everything worked out. Overall, he does seem like a good dad.
I'm happy, big turnaround from get the hell out of my house to come over for pizza and let's talk.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I think, it does take like a lot to admit your faults and your wrongs, especially to a kid.
A teenager, right? Big to like recognize that and then have like a calm civil conversation.
Yeah.
And I think
we were just talking about this with Madison today, actually, in the car.
Yeah.
How like most parents used
never
to
apologize.
never apologize because that's your kid. Like people just don't feel like you need to apologize to a kid because they're not an adult. But like to an adult, and if you're fighting or if you get upset and you are in the wrong, you normally do apologize.
Exactly.
But most people don't show that same respect to kids.
They feel like they don't owe it to them.
Yeah.
I think it was smart definitely to like bring the girlfriend into it to like chat it together because she didn't realize he had been slacking off on her part.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best part about a high school relationship is like, I don't know, studying together, like doing your homework.
Yeah.
Doing the bare min. All right. That's all we got, guys. We're going to skip the Q&A this session because we got some life updates to talk about. Why have I been wearing a suit this whole episode if you've been watching on YouTube? Well, the reason for that is, we'll get to it in a little bit because we did something the night before. Teresa's uncle took us out for dinner at Blue Bloods at Casa Loma in Toronto. In Toronto. At Casa Loma in Toronto. It's a castle in the middle of the city.
Yes. It's like a tourist attraction, but there's a really fancy restaurant, steakhouse inside, and we've never been, and my uncle's never been either. And he took us out for our wedding gift, and it was so good. We got the Wagyu steak. We got a bunch of stuff. We tried caviar. It was beluga caviar.
I didn't like it.
We did not like it because Denver and I don't like fish.
We don't eat fish, so.
My Zio tried to convince us that it was going to taste creamy, buttery, and salty.
He ate 90% of it himself.
Yes. Like 95.
Yeah. I asked for an appletini. They couldn't make it. Fancy schmancy bar. Still have not found an appletini. I'm 4 restaurants in a row that have asked for an appletini. The Modern Family appletini has not come to fruition here, so we're still waiting for that. I'll let you know when I find a place that'll make me one.
If you guys are from Toronto or the GTA and you've had an appletini, let us know.
Literally. So that was good. That was a good night.
So fun.
Dinner,
it was so
potatoes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was just.
The food was really, really good. So best wedding gift ever. Thank you, Zio.
And then I had a martini. Didn't really taste like martini, just tastes like a cocktail. But then I had like their fancy take on a bourbon. And if you were watching, like if you guys have been following on our Denver and Teresa, then you saw this like a month ago. Because this, live dates, but whatever. But it was cool. It was fancy. And then what did we do the next day?
The next day?
Went to the farm.
We went to the farm. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Took the cats out to the farm. We bought them these really big cat carriers that we plan to use for full-time travel. So we were getting them used to that.
They're huge.
They're huge. They fill up the whole back seat.
The
cats can like jump in them if they wanted.
They're tall. They even have like a hammock.
Like a second layer.
They have like, it's like a 2-story thing.
It's like a 2-story thing, yeah.
So it's really nice. They have like a lot of room to like move around and get comfy in there. As opposed to like their current crates. Yeah,
it was huge, just lots of space. They clip in with a seatbelt so they stay in place.
Yeah. So we took them to get the RV. Oh, when we got there, what happened?
Oh, yeah. So the RV is an hour and 25 minutes away from downtown Toronto where we live, where it's parked. We drive all the way out there. We pack up the RV. We drive all the way out there. I forgot the RV keys on the key hook at home. We had no freaking keys. So I'm like, we also went there because I had like this parts car, a little Subaru WRX that needed to get rid of that somebody was coming to pick up. So I was kind of there to like pick that up. And then Teresa can go in the RV for the first time. We'll take the cats. They'll be there for a couple hours. We'll take them home. They'll kind of get used to it a little bit. And yeah, I forgot the keys. So that almost just like ruined the whole plan. And I had to like break into the RV.
We broke into our own RV.
I took a hammer and I basically broke the door lock on it because I had planned on replacing it anyway because I wanted like an easy access key code one. So I was like, we'll just break this open and get in. So it did that.
Yeah.
And then we brought the cats inside. We ate our leftovers from the night before. And we made a mistake. We brought the cats inside. And when we put them down, they're eager to get out. They're looking around. They're wanting to get out. They're eager.
Yeah, they were completely fine in the 1.5-hour car drive.
But the battery for the RV had died. So I had to charge it. So while we were eating, it was charging. Then after it was charged, we were able to like pull the slide out, and we made a mistake and we left them inside the RV while we pulled the slide out, and
In their crates still, and we were in there.
Yeah, in their crates, but it terrified Jack.
The noise of just moving,
It's
I guess,
loud.
the slide outs really triggered something in him and scared the complete bejesus out of him.
Bejeebers.
It broke my freaking heart. I was like sobbing the entire time, like so hard, because it just made me so sad. He was so terrified. And he didn't come out of his crate. He came out for 1 minute. Like,
yeah, it was.
We were there for hours, but he was just, I'm not joking, like at the corner of the crate thing, like
Pushed into the mesh.
Just pushed in, like his face was like.
He was hoping if he pushed in far enough, he would teleport home.
Yeah, he did not want to be there, and I fear that we may have, like, I hope we didn't like permanently make this place like a scary place for him.
No, he'll bounce back quick.
Next time we will definitely not have them in there
while the slides come out.
The slides come out, because they were already kind of like, everything was new. Like, they haven't been in a car in a long time.
And they were pretty good.
They were pretty
Luna
good.
meowed more than Jack.
Luna was meowing.
Jack was chilled out. We were worried about Jack because of his IBD. He was chill.
Yeah.
We felt bad because when we got there, we started like microwaving the food, and they'd been in the car, and the battery was charging, so we didn't want to leave him in the car while we ate. So then we brought him out. We should have took him back outside, but we'll learn that lesson for next time, and hopefully it'll go smoother.
Yeah.
But Luna, little exploring little queen. I should have expected it, because anytime we bring home and we unbox something, she's jumping in the grocery bags and an Amazon box. She's like, I'm in there. As soon as she can explore it, she's in there. So she was exploring everywhere, but she was still scared and timid. So she was kind of exploring, looking for a dark place to hide out. And I thought it was completely sealed off. Like, I thought they were good. I checked, couldn't find it anywhere. But it turns out there was a little section where there's like a shoe cubby. At the very back of the shoe cubby, there's actually like a 2-inch opening that led into the under bay storage area. And Teresa's like, oh, she's disappearing. And I'm like, nah, there's nowhere that she could go. The shoe that's sealed off, there's nowhere. And then I look down in it, and half her body's through this crack. And I'm like, if I try and grab her now, she's just going to go through faster. And I'm not. But then she went through it. I'm like, shit. So I had to go into the storage bay, open up the storage bay door, grab her, hold her on for dear life as I'm walking outside of the RV.
Oh my God, terrifying.
And then bring her back inside. And Teresa's with Jack, and Jack's not leaving his carrier.
I'm inside crying.
Luna's running everywhere.
It was a disaster. It was so stressful.
Yeah.
For them, for me, it was so terrible. I hate seeing them stressed out. Like, literally nothing pains me more. Oh my gosh, thinking about Jack just being not scared, like, broke my heart. At the end of it, he wasn't as scared. Like, he wasn't still like pushing his face into the thing. Like, and he did come out a little bit. He did end up eating a little bit of the tube. This guy, like, is so enticed by food.
All he wants is food. That's how scared he was. He wasn't eating the food. He didn't eat all day.
Food. Like,
he didn't eat all day.
Luckily, at the end of it, he did have half the tube, and he was just like chilling in the crate. Like, he was like in the middle of it rather than like all the way at the corner, like hiding.
And he didn't have a flare up. He's been good.
No, because he's been on the steroids.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then when we got home, he was completely fine. He was like, this is home.
Back to normal.
So hopefully it's just going to take a couple more times to get used to. Luna, I feel like she's used to it already.
Luna will be fine.
She took a beautiful nap on the bed.
Yep.
She was there for a while. So she's used to it, which I thought we were going to have more issues with Luna, but Jack is, he's a little scared boy.
Yeah. Then we came home, and then we had today. Dun, dun, dun.
What did we do today? It was just another day.
We ran around. Chaotic. I guess this started on Wednesday or Thursday.
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 We filmed Thursday. We told them.
Okay, yeah, we went to City Hall. We got the marriage license, and then they're like, no, you cannot go to Italy and get a symbolic wedding and then come back and expect to get married. Are you dumb? So
Basically what they said.
So we booked a wedding chamber at
on the City Hall website, by the way. Sorry,
website.
On the Toronto City
website.
of Toronto website.
City of Toronto website.
It said where to get married.
Yep.
And then there was 3 places. There was North York Civic Hall, there was Scarborough Civic Hall,
Yep.
and York Civic Hall.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, let me book. I'll book one of these and we'll get married there.
So Teresa books it, and then we leave this morning, and we leave early. We're like, yeah, we're going to arrive 18 minutes early. We can chat with family, make sure we're ready to go. Perfect. We get onto the highway, and then Teresa's like, we have everything that we need. We got licenses, we got our passport. Do we even need those? Do we need the rings? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, we don't have the marriage certificate piece of paper.
The marriage license.
The actual marriage license, the only thing that you need. You didn't actually need anything. You just need that. Nothing else but that. And then they chop down the exit, the closest exit. That's construction in Toronto. They chopped that off the highway. So we had to go an extra 10 minutes up the road. Came back. I ran upstairs, got the piece of paper, got Teresa's nail and the nail glue, threw it all in a thing, and I head back down to the car.
My nail fell off.
And Teresa glued it on in the car. We're heading towards the place, and then it's we told all of our family, this is the address, meet us there. My family's there, Teresa's family there. My family's in 3 different cars, Teresa's in 1, but they're all there. They're all waiting for us. When did we realize that it was the wrong address? Because Teresa had booked it, and then she had booked the brunch reservations for afterwards at 12 o'clock, and then she had sent the address in the group chat. And I didn't check on it at all. They had sent us an email saying oh, here's your address. And I was like, oh, great. I'll click on that when I need to navigate tomorrow. But I got in the car. She's already had the address set. I was like, perfect. Thanks, babe. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Guys, I was so convinced. I wish I had I feel I got punked. No, because I wish there was a video camera of my life that shows that I booked the North York Civic Center. Because I swear to God I did.
Yeah.
But the email confirmation said otherwise. It said I booked York Civic Center, which is 20 minutes apart from each other.
Yep.
And we only booked a half an hour time slot. So literally, as we got there, I was like, okay, awesome.
How did you realize that?
I think I looked at, I was pulling up the email, the confirmation email, just to see, just to have it up.
Oh, so you can show it to them? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this says York Civic Center. Oh, this isn't the address that we're going to. Oh. And then I started spiraling. I was like, I didn't want to tell you. It was a minute before I told you. I was like,
oh, really? Oh, you just kept it in?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm just cruising away. Driving there. I'm already driving fast because we're late. We're getting late. Our ETA was 11:01
or something.
11:01, and our appointment is at 11. I'm like, we're late. We're late. We got to park.
Underground parking.
I'm told her sister, can you meet us in the underground parking and walk us right there so we don't accidentally go the wrong direction? We're hustling to get there.
Yeah, we were. And then, I found out we were at the wrong address. And we call his dad and we're like, can you see if they can take us in today? Because they were already at the wedding chambers.
Yep, they were there waiting.
We were like, can they just do it today? Even if we don't have an appointment, at this location. Long story short, no, there was nobody but a security guard there.
Nobody could help because it's a holiday. It's
Victoria Day here.
Yeah, it's a holiday, and we were surprised we could even book it.
Yeah.
But we did it because if they're open, they're open. So now at this point, I'm like, okay, fuck, that's not where our appointment is. Let's turn right. Let's go to the other place and let's get everybody to follow if my dad can't figure it out. I get a block away. Then I'm like, wait, everybody's already over there. Let's just go back there. Let's rally with everybody. We can ask them ourselves, find out. So we start driving back. Then I'm like, wait. Let's just get to the other place because they said we have a 30-minute window. It's 11 right now. We'll get there at 11:20. We'll figure it out. Maybe they can extend it or something. And then if my dad says yes, we can turn around. So then we start heading back the other way. And someone told my dad to call 311, right?
Yeah.
You call 311
Yeah.
as we're heading there. You go through like 13 different sub-menus because this is just the general help Toronto line to
Yeah.
get through. And then you get through to somebody. And then
Yeah.
as we're like 5 minutes out from getting to the destination of our appointment on time at 11:20, what does he tell you?
No, he didn't. You told me.
No, he mentioned it.
No, what did he say?
He said, he's like, yeah, if you just go in, you and the officiant you bring with you will be able to like marry you there because they should be open to let you in. And I'm like, wait, did he just say the officiant that we bring with us? I'm like, babe, what do you mean? Why did he say the officiant that we need to bring with us? What do you mean? Are they not marrying us there? Are we not going to like the courthouse? Are we not getting married at the courthouse? Why do we need to bring an officiant? Isn't the judge just saying, and do you marry each other? You do? Sign the
It's not
paper.
a
You're
judge,
good
it's an
to go.
officiant.
I thought we're going into a courtroom and a judge is saying
didn't.
like, all right, you're married? All right, good.
I thought it was gonna be like the city officiant. I don't know.
So then we're like, wait, we need to hire an officiant? We paid $160 or $130 for the chambers. Doesn't that include the guy that says congrats,
For
you're
30
married?
minutes, you would think
Yeah.
$160 included the officiant.
So
But no, it didn't.
So then we get there and we're like, Teresa's just like, okay, we'll go. Let's just tell my family is closed. Let's just tell my family is closed and they shouldn't have taken our reservation. And we don't have to admit that we didn't hire an officiant. I'm like, I don't know if we can do that. We go to the front door, we check, door's locked. We're like, okay, so it is closed. I'm like, are we really going to not to admit our family that even though it's closed, even if it was open, we still screwed the pooch and we fucked everything up? And then the security guard opens the door. And they're like, yeah, the wedding chambers is over there. Have at it. And there's just two security guards. They're like, yeah, we're supposed to open the door for wedding chambers appointments. Here's your appointment. All right, have at it. And we're like, we're inside the wedding chamber.
I was like, bye.
Everybody else is driving behind us. We're like, babe, I'm like, we're fucked. I was like, maybe when we get there, somebody else will be having their wedding. A wedding officiant will be like asked to hire him on the spot. Like the rezo before us or after us, they'll be like waiting. No, we were the only ones. Ghost town besides the security guards. We're the only ones that asked. So there was nobody to hire. And then everybody's like out in the parking lot and I'm like filming their reactions of like us telling them like, yo, it's closed. I'm playing around with the new camera I got. I'm just getting some footage and stuff. And everybody's like, what do you mean it's closed? What do you mean you don't have an officiant? All this stuff. And my dad's girlfriend actually came in clutch and let us know that the mortgage broker that we had planned to use that like we were working with for the house bill, he's actually a reverend, an officiant too.
In Barrie.
And he can marry us in Barrie.
Like an hour and a half away from Toronto.
So they're like, call him. I'm like, all right, what else do I have to lose? So I call him. This guy picks up. I was surprised. He's like, hey, Denver, how can I help? And I'm like, hey, man, this is totally random, but Teresa and I are trying to get legally married today. I know it's a long shot, but is there any chance that you just happen to be free today and you wouldn't mind marrying us? He's like, oh, I got a little project I was working on, but if you guys need help, I'd be happy to help out. I was like, you would be a lifesaver, an absolute lifesaver. We're planning to go to Italy. Said we had to get married before. They said if we don't do it before, they won't let us get married when we get back. So, like, would you mind if we drove up this afternoon? Could you do it? He's like, no problem. I can do it. I was like, all right, well, we made a lunch reservation for 12. So, like, how does 2 to like 3 work? Sure, no problem. So, yeah. And then we drove to brunch. We had lunch with everybody.
Back to the original place.
Back to the original place. The same parking spots.
Our family on like a wild goose chase
Wild
today.
goose chase.
Oh my God.
Everybody is like, what's going on? So we had lunch with everybody and Andrew. And then unfortunately,
Andrew,
Chris and Andrew had to go home. But then Madison and Kat joined us in our car. And then, yeah, we drove up to Barrie and bam, we had a wedding, guys. Teresa and I.
It was so beautiful.
It was their house was a beautiful. Dan and Jen were so nice. Their
so
backyard
nice, yeah.
was amazing. If you guys are in Toronto in the Barrie area and you want to do an efficient wedding, you send us a DM, an email, and I will send you the contact info and hook you up because they were amazing. It was
They're
great.
amazing.
It was snap, snap, boom. He didn't want to take anything away from the Italy wedding, so he just did the basics, and it was amazing. And then they took all the pictures after, and it was great. And we got video footage of the whole I'll give you rough footage of the whole day. If you guys want to come over to Patreon, I'll give you almost no edited, just slopped in at the end of the Patreon video episode. So if you guys come on Patreon on Friday, sign up, you'll get that bonus footage if you guys want to check it out.
It was so scary up there, guys.
It's embarrassing.
What's
it was
embarrassing?
scary. Just like our mess up through the day and like us talking about like how we screwed the pooch on like, not only did like we were forget it, we had to drive back home, booked at the wrong place.
Mistake after
didn't
mistake.
book it efficient, and thankfully Dan was there to like just save the day. So we ended up getting married. My dad bought me this hilarious just married magnet that he just slapped on my car, and some roses on the car when we were driving back and stuff like that. That was cute. But yeah, when we were there, oh
my gosh. Well, we were up there like on the altar.
Yeah.
Our family was just below us and they were all staring at us.
I don't know how we're going to actually get married in Italy. That was the most nerve-wracking thing ever.
And it was only half the wedding party. Like half the people.
And with like
half the guests.
With half the wedding vibes.
Yeah.
I'm in like a casual suit and Teresa's in this awesome outfit. And it was like,
I was so scared. I was like, can you guys look away?
Right?
Please stop looking at us.
Yeah.
All we had to say was I do. We didn't say any vows or anything.
Yeah.
We didn't repeat anything. It was just I do.
I do.
But it was still
and we signed the paperwork.
So nerve-wracking.
It was.
So now we're married.
Legally married, but not officially. That's what we're going by. I had to say
I'm
like
still
7
calling
times.
Denver my fiance.
No one in my family got it that we're legally married, not officially. Everybody's like, no, you got to remember this day. No, you are officially married.
We will never be celebrating
like,
this day.
We're trying not to celebrate it because I didn't want to do it before we went because I didn't want to take away any of the specialness. Now, Teresa and I, we're making jokes, we're making jabs about husband and wife and, oh, we're already married. And
I haven't called him the H word yet.
We're trying not to, but it is happening. We're talking about it right now. We're taking a little bit of the hype away from Italy, which I'm a little sad about. So I don't want I don't really want to remember this day or anything. So
I agree. The wedding in Italy will be way more special.
May 28th is going to be our anniversary date.
Yeah.
Not May 19th.
Yeah.
May 28th.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. That's it, folks. That's our life update. So what a hectic day.
That's why we're in our attire today. Denver wanted to do this episode.
It's like, let's not let it go to waste.
And I was like, I am so uncomfortable here trying not to moon you guys.
I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to crop it above her legs.
But yeah, it's okay. It worked out. I will never wear this again though.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then these chairs.
Yeah. So that was it. And then back to our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode 83. The court finds them guilty. If you didn't get the theme, they were all rated asshole.
Yes, they were.
Every single one. OP was the asshole. And I had 11 stories for that episode. That was just all we got. So those will be coming on. I got some good ones that I'm going to bring to Friday's Patreon episode. So if you guys want more extended, more Reddit stories, more Denver and Teresa, more ThreadTalk, you want the raw footage of our chaotic mess up of a day, I'll throw that into the next Patreon episode that's going live on Friday. So we'd appreciate your support there. Yeah. And if you want to just support us on here, what do they do, Teresa?
Like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, comment, give us a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcast platform that you're listening on. Share it with a friend, leave a comment, and yeah.
Killed it.
I think that's all.
Good job.
Thank you.
All-star over there.
Thanks.
Damn.
I was going to say something else. Oh, this is our last
bulking up episode.
Last like public episode.
Next Tuesday?
The next week, it'll be after our honeymoon, our wedding.
We're going to need everything. Like a 45-minute life update on the next one. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. It's going to be a long episode probably.
Right?
Yeah. So it's a lifetime away for us, but it's only a week away from you.
Hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
We'll see you live next week.
See you next week.
Not like live, but like closer to live.
Yeah. That's all.
That's all, folks. Court is adjourned.
Bye. You poked out there.
All right, back to
No.
me. What are you doing?
I am discomfortable.
Discomforted?
Discomforted.
Discomforted.
Uncomfortable. And you poke that bear till her claws come out and you find something to wrap your noose around.
You gonna clip that?
Next.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what song we're on. Mad Woman? Oh, we're poking the bear?
Yeah.
I left in my life. You are my life.
Aw. No. Jack? Meow?
Meow.
Are you okay, buddy? What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Time.
What's wrong? Luna's like, get the fuck away from me.
Baby.
Poor Jack. He needs someone to cuddle with him.
I think he's hungry. Time is it? It was 8:10. He just got fed.
He's got the after food meows. Look at him. He's still licking his lips from his
Yeah.
food.
Meow. Okay.
Speaking of,
No, I am not ready.
I gotta put that at the end too.
I'm so uncomfortable. Can I change?
Force you to wear. Go ahead. I got my thumbnail.
What?
No, I'm just looking at you. How beautiful you are. Love you.
So yeah, we broke up. I love you too. After
Come on, either talk to me or read the story. Come on.